Right, welcome back to week 2, you guys. I am Lost. I am here with Gitano as my co-caster for today, and we're going to go straight into draft for DPA versus SFG. First bans, blue side going to ban out the Lee Sin and the Ashe. Red going to opt into a Garen on the R1 ban. Gonna wait on the R2 from DroppingPoint. DroppingPoint going to R2 the Camille ban. Jinx in response, and Cho'Gath for the last ban. As far as, these teams, I don't think we've seen too much on them. I don't have as much familiarity with the Emerald League. I've pretty much only casted the IBS League, so it should be interesting to see different players play.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see the higher elos and kind of how their map rotations are and kind of everything that's going on. I don't know if you caught the Silver Scrapes game for no spoilers for the why can't I think of it, the finals for Riot Games. Did you happen to check that out?
No, I did not.
Oh, I won't ruin it, but I can see why Ashe was banned.
Yeah. Ashe just extremely potent in the current meta right now, especially with focusing on more auto attack based champions rather than the spellcaster variants. But DPA is going to end up locking in Caitlyn, and SFG is going to respond with the Misfortune and the Rel. Looking to probably lean in towards more a wombo combo style comp. Showing the Rel as early as they did leaves room for potential counter picks into it. A lot of champions could really lock down the Rel super easily, so I'm wondering if that might come back to hurt them later in this draft.
Yeah, I think they're maybe trying to solidify what they want to do in this. And Braum, you just talked about counterpoints, and Braum with that giant door is a big one here for the MF ult. So they're going to have to wait in order for that to come up, or find maybe an avenue for, kind of a cheeky side maybe hit off to the side that he's not expecting here. With the Amumu as well, that will solidify more of that wombo combo that we were just talking about. I don't think they're going to put all the eggs in this basket where even if the lane phase doesn't go well for them, as long as you have those great team fight and those aspects, Malphite too is a great easy setup. Nothing too crazy. They do ban away the Mumu after looking at that. And that early Malphite pick, there's a lot of counterplay to that as well. So they're really kind of going all in early, showing their hand.
I'm honestly questioning the Ornn ban. Like, Ornn is okay in the Malphite, but surely we're more scared of Poppy, right? Like, clearly Poppy's a huge issue for our comp if we're all wanting to dash in at the same time. Especially showing a Jarvan like that.
Yeah.
This is just a no-brainer, I think.
Yeah, but the Poppy top lane, that's kind of where it's going to go as of right now. You have your support filled out, you have your jungler, Lilia being that power farm mid to late game champ that just kind of prances and dances around and slowly takes out your HP until you're sleepy, and then all hell breaks loose here. So with that J4 being picked up, this is just a monster combo, just one good team fight. The unstoppable force, Jarvan or J4 go ahead and gives you the Cataclysm, and then Magnetstorm on top of the MFL. Anyone's gonna get shredded in between all of that. It doesn't matter how tanky you are, unless you have 5 items, 5 levels up or something. Volibear picked up here, so a little bit more of a run at 'em piece of the comp, and that'll be topside.
Interesting. Volibear probably gonna lean towards being able to kind of break the cycle of getting hard engaged on, being able to jump out of the big combo, and Orianna probably going to be sticking the ball on him to be kind of dissuading or potentially counter engaging onto SFG here.
And Galio picked up here a kind of universal ult that can kind of really go cross map and help with these gauge and fights. We'll see if they actually lock it up. Do you think the Orianna pick was a pick away from
potentially? Yeah, it would make sense for it to be a pick away, while also I think they assumed that they wanted to take Volibear. They might have taken Volibear because they were going to take away Orianna, to be honest. They needed somebody that would be able to utilize the ball if they're going to take away the Orianna, so Volibear would make sense in that scenario.
Yeah, plus the AP mix of the Volibear too, depending on what that first rush is. We've seen Roa, little variations depending on what the bear is going here for the top side, so that also help versus a Malphite. And if you get far enough ahead, you kind of become this unstoppable force that's just going to keep on power diving towers, and you're at least dragging another person up with you. So now you're kind of discombobulating or unchaining this team that SFG has put together, where it's just the wombo combo. So a lot of stuff kind of drives the top lane to make sure that you don't fall behind, or you have an answer for the top side. So Volibear, there's a lot of counter. You're not too highly immobile. You do have a little bit of a speed gap, but nothing too crazy like a Camille where you're dashing halfway across the map. So there is a little bit of outplay for that. But touching back to this bot lane, how do you think this is going to go for them?
Rel Misfortune, has a lot of pressure, right? And like you said, Braum being very, very powerful in the counter pick into Misfortune. I think what GPA is going to opt into doing is probably play their lane a little bit slower, let off the gas a little bit so that their jungler can, farm up and potentially play towards the top side of the map rather than the bottom side. Like you said, Volibear going to need a lead, and if he gets one, he gets to run with it. And Caitlyn doesn't really need that much hand-holding in lane, especially into champions like Misfortune and Rel, who don't have that instant burst engage that will CC you right off the bat. Rel needing to dismount in order to get that. She can flash Q if she wanted to, but it's not. She can only do that every 5 minutes or so. So I think DPA is going to opt into a more reactive playstyle and just take what they can get and poke them out, and then potentially look to engage after they've lost that HP pool.
Now that we've seen both team comps and kind of discussed about them, which side are you favoring? Just kind of looking at it first glance here.
Lots of strong picks. Both teams, have an identity. I think that overall, though, SFG's comp is a little bit easier to pilot, but we are in the ELO where ease of use doesn't necessarily matter as much. I think DPA looks a little bit stronger, but like I said, it really depends on execution here. If SFG executes their comp properly and like sets up fights properly and does all their things that they need to do, they will win. That's just what their comp does. But if DPA doesn't give them that room to set up, then they're gonna have a lot easier time.
And now that we also have the lanes too, which lane do you think the jungles should be focused on? I know I kind of touched on that Lilia not really a heavy gank presence. Meanwhile, towards the other side, the J4 is one of those that can really hit, 2 camps, get level 3 or even level 2 and just come to your lane, and definitely blow those summoners or get a successful gank off, really putting you behind. So which lane are you thinking they might focus?
As far as Lilia goes, I think she needs to play towards the top side. I couldn't imagine a world where she would want to interact with bot nearly as much, especially with J4 being stronger in the early levels. J4 is going to have to be bot. He can't really play through a Malphite, way too tanky, doesn't have a ton of kill pressure like Volley does. Can't play through the Galio. Galio wants to help other lanes, and Orianna's just going to be super safe the entire time. Whereas Misfortune is your win condition here. Being able to line up the bullet time with the Cataclysm and Unstoppable Force and Heroic Entrance and all that stuff is going to be how they secure these games. So getting that Misfortune as far ahead as possible, I think is going to end up being that Jarvan's game plan.
And I think we see scaling throughout the entirety of it too. No one's super heavy early game. It's to that mid to late levels where a lot of these champions are going to bloom here. And I think these Orianna ults too are really going to come in clutch depending on, where the disengage is going to happen, where the ults lie, and kind of, deterring the team from coming in at that point. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how the early game goes for this top lane, to see if Malphite is going to become, that pun intended unstoppable force where he just, clamps down, able to get a lead and really just takes it to Volibear, or Volley can kind of flip the script on him and say, I'm the beast of the jungle, good luck, and then just starts rampaging down top where they have to send someone. Now, if Volibear does get ahead, who do you send towards the top side to help out?
You kind of just have to play around your timers and send as many people as you can, because like you said, Volibear, especially with Stormbringer active, they don't really have options to deal with them. At most, you could throw Malphite at him, but he's still doing magic damage, right? So he's going to burn through Malphite very fast. Galio, maybe, but Galio doesn't even do that much damage comparatively to Volibear, especially with sustain. So at the very least, you're sending 3 people for him. And I think if you're DPA, that feels really good, especially if you're this Volibear.
And we just talked about damage. From SFG, what if the MF falls behind? Where is the damage from the team going to come from? Do you think J4 will take a more of a bruisier pack for this, or kind of a little bit more, of a almost, I wouldn't say an assassin type, but something a little bit more damage heavy for that backline?
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably see him opt into Black Cleaver due to them being, very AD-centric on their damage with the MF and the Jarvan. Obviously, Galio and Malphite both deal magic damage as well as Rel, but Black Cleaver is still going to be very potent, I think. So you'll probably see standard, Eclipse on him, into Black Cleaver, into whatever he needs afterwards. I think that would make the most sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would, and we'll kind of see how the early game tells the tale of this officially here. Anything else that you want to touch on or take a look at here before we get into the game?
I'm just very excited to see this matchup, because especially with the roster changes that SFG has had in this middle season, we haven't really gotten to see them on any comp at all, realistically, since they have so many different players right now. But I think putting them on this type of comp to kind of gauge and feel the water will definitely show, if they have the coordination to be able to play at this level.
Yeah, it's always nice to have your game stream, but once you do, then other teams can kind of really pick apart where your strategy, where your weakness is, and also your strengths on that too. So it's always kind of that double-edged sword if you want to be on the main screen, but then people get more and better scouting on you because of it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think aside from that, we're going to be going into game here right now. It looks like we talked all the way through that draft. We don't even have to take a
An
production break.
intermission.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, this is going to be very mid-game centric type of play.
Welcome
Uh,
to Summoner's Rift.
Oriana Shockwave going to be very vital for the side of GPA. And, leading Lullaby also being very fun. Looks like supports are going to do a little bit of dancing down there.
Yeah, a little bit of trade back and forth. That Braum passive level 1 just being so key. You see so many invades just off of it, just the natural stun, the slow, being able to lock someone up, very key. But looking at the team, I don't think they have the strongest invade for that. Oriana really can't do too much. You can maybe opt into the shield or the
Minions have
poke.
spawned.
Caitlyn being able to do a lot of damage, and Lilia kind of have to really get in front of them there. So Malphite getting a little poke off here with that arcane comet, starting that Doran's ring as well. So just classic start for him.
Yeah, I mean, back on the early game a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this middle lane is. We might see Jarvan go there, to be honest. Especially if Galio can secure an early level lead and like take some HP away, it should be a little bit easier for potentially them to just burn the flash. I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, just one taunt into the flag and drag can really set up lost times for disaster here. So we'll see exactly how that pans out for them. And we talked about quickly getting level 2. We'll see if bot side tries to push this lead and maybe get a little bit of a play off of that. Meanwhile, mid side both just trading back and forth. Level 2 here for bot lane gonna come, I believe, on this next minion, and it looks like Rel and MF are knowledgeable enough that they're just going to back up and kind of wait for that wave to push in.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlyn and Braum really just utilizing their pressure the most.
So here we go, Rel going in there for Maddie. Maddie getting exhausted here, trying to kite out. Braum passive stun on the Rel. Rel trying to get away here. Maddie still going down very low. Stun onto the MF. Barrier burn. First blood by MF. Blows the flash. Trade back and forth there. MF though picking up the kill. Wild Cobra doing good job. And a double kill for the Braum. The man with the door. J4's not quite done though with the bot side. He finds Braum flash though and does get out of there. So a little bit of a delay for J4's top side there. But you would hoping the kills to go here to Maddie. But they'll take it on the Braum.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely not upset getting all of their summoners on the bot side, especially in this type of lane where Rel can't reliably like close that gap without that flash. You'll have range advantage. You have summoner advantage on Caitlyn now with the flash being up. Obviously, looking at the items, we're still sitting long swords on both of them, so obviously the gold didn't matter nearly as much. But Lilia's also like present on this bot side, so potentially StormForge has to be very, very cautious about this.
Yeah, they have to be wary here. Looks like Lilia's gonna grab and then towards top side. Malphite getting super low on the mana isn't gonna be enough here though. And J4's looking for the gank, gonna get spotted out there by the ward just in time. Meanwhile, Galio for the taunt, looking for the Oriana. Last time's trying to get away here. Kites a little bit out, still has pretty good mana. Gingerly trying to get away, does burn the rest of it, does still have TP to join back to the fight. Meanwhile, bot side Rel maybe looking for an engage here. Back off.
I mean, we saw Jarvan end up attempting to posture for that dive, but Xanther didn't really give him an opening for that to happen. So, Jarvan just losing so much time on these camps, looking for these potential early ganks is going to end up being, 7, almost 11 CS now behind Lilia. I'm sure if you're Lilia, you're feeling really, really good about your clear timings here.
Yeah, you got the lead since J4 opted into the bot side. You blew the flash, but you also lost a whole bunch of times on the camp. And Lily getting ahead on that, she is going to say thank you very much for that. Already backed once here, picked up an item as well towards the bot side. Rel, though, possibly looking for Maddie. Maddie not having, or does have flash up. Barriers just coming up, but is it going to be enough? The Rel is taking up so much damage. MF2 just kiting around that Braum. Wild Cobra gonna get a kill there on Maddie. So great use of this bot side. Galio with a taunt here with Orianna. No one else in the mid lane, so just a little bit of a trade back and forth. And now that's 2 kills for the MF, so a great start here by Wild Cobra.
Yeah, I mean, Axe just finding that engage, finding the opportunity to put some pressure onto Maddie and, create enough space for Wild Cobra to be able to collect those kills. And now he has a massive gold lead. He is up, a BF sword. He's certainly feeling good about this lane, especially with, your comp needing your MF to be ahead.
Yeah, and they still haven't even hit 6 yet where that spike is coming from, so they have to be happy with that, as you just said here. J4 towards the mid here with the Lily, a little bit of trades back and forth. Fifi up a level here on the Lily, but still going down quite a bit. Galio ult comes down crashing, not going to find any purchase. Axe as well there, just in case something does break out. Last time's not quite done here with J4 using the shockwave, bringing him back there. Has to flash, is going to go down. Last time's picking up the kill. Lilia slowing down the Galio. Galio has to burn the flash. Leviathan not there, unfortunately. Doesn't hit the door. Maddie towards the bot side has to pull a flash as well. Good use there by Hax. Roaming back down after that mid, blowing another summoner here. So and it looks like they will transition to Void Grubs here for DPA.
Yeah, GP probably going to end up collecting these Void Grubs. Malphite looking to contest it, but doesn't exactly have enough help, especially with Blade being there still.
Ooh, unstoppable force being used here by Malphite here towards Fifi. Will take him down as well. I believe the Void Grub was stolen there by Malphite, so that is 1-0 just yet. They're still grabbing the attacking here. Last time picking up another kill, 2-0. J4 as well, just off to the side here. Braum trying to kick down the door, not going to find it. Is going to start the passive though. Gets 2 procs off, still waiting for another one. And they are going to back off here. Void Grub's going to reset.
As cool as that play was, you gotta wonder, is that actually worth it long term?
Oh, exhaust here used by Hax down to Maddie, taking up a lot of the tower, and it's going to take way too much. Maddie picking up the kill there now, 1, 2, and 2. A little bit of gold back into his pocket.
A little bit too aggressive from Axe, I think. Definitely gonna end up
Void
costing
Grubs.
them later.
Oh, Witch Doctor stealing that away from Fifi there on the J4. Does flag and drag right out of there. Slow here by Leviathan. 4 Cobra gets the 3rd stack. Going for the 4th. Does get the Sun. Maddie trying to get the trap underneath. Is going to sidestep. Wild Cobra very low. Flash doesn't matter. Auto attack still finds it. Goes down. That is 2 kills picked up there for Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning of that lane, losing your flash on that initial roam back down to bot lane from Axe, and then getting to be able to turn that into 2 kills.
Oh, but J4 towards the bot side here. Maddie, unfortunately, trying to look for the ward, but is going to bite off a little more than she can chew. Maddie going down there with the Caitlyn, unfortunate. Just that little, hey, I got vision here, you might want to clear it. It's just enough bait.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bloody game to start off with, especially considering that both of these teams really just don't have, like, crazy early game, aside from, Braum being Braum and Jarvan being Jarvan. But, yeah, I mean, considering that, like, having more than 1 kill per minute is a little insane.
Yeah, it's one of those bloodbaths that you step on the rift, and I think I see this a lot. I cast BOL as well, and you think throughout the leagues as you go higher up in the tiers, they kind of settle down and get less kills, but usually often game 1 is just the bloodbath. People are kind of limit testing. Meanwhile, towards bot side here, Maddie gonna get taken up by the LJ4, also down low. Gonna flag and drag in, gonna find the Braum. Is that the target they want? Bullet time going over 2. Great job of sidestepping as well. Maddie gonna take the kill here. Lilia towards the bot side. Galio also following down. We don't see anything just yet on the Orianna. Drowsy, sleep, gonna come out for the row. Galio here trying to crash in. And they are just going to back off here. Oriana still towards that mid side. Going to grab probably some plates. Ooh, almost taking off Maddie there with the MFQ full stack. That just hurts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a little bit of a disconnect from the side of StormForge, I think. Not really layering their cooldowns quite properly. They chose not to wait for Galio to be in range of that hero's entrance. Otherwise, I think they probably would have had a bit of an easier time killing them. Also, the bullet time came out a tad bit late due to the fact that the shield was up. But I think if they want to see a little bit more success on these dives, you'll
Oh,
need to...
Malphite here towards the stop side. Xanther trying to get out of there. Does use Call of the Storm, but it is not going to be enough here. And that Malphite having a great job, already up 25 CS just about here, towards the Volley Bear, and a little bit of a, for me, a little bit of a confusing build here as we're going with the Spectre's Cowl and the Tier as well. Meanwhile, towards mid lane, Galio here not having the best time. Oriana picking up that kill, already 20 CS up in her lane, and 3-0-0 on that for lost times.
Currently, we're not opting into full AP Malphite here, right?
I think it's just they're gonna go for the oh god, why am I really blanking here? The the reduces the MR when you yes, yep, Malignance, and then after that you're gonna go totally back down. But Magnet Storm here towards the bot side, Matt again exhausted. We got MF very low. Wild Cobra getting taken down here by Maddie, and a little bit of change. DP Vivi going towards the bot side here. Does get a little bit of damage here, trying to get out TP from the Malphite as well. J4 towards the top side, still covering that. So a little bit of a scuffed team fight there, and maybe a late TP that was not really needed here by this Malphite.
I mean, if you're StormForge, you're not down both TPs going into, you know, Grub's just about spawning. It looks like that the Cataclysm's going to end up getting used on the top side there, but it's not going to confirm anything. Just get the flash off of Volley there.
Yeah. I mean, a pretty good cooldown, especially when you do have the lead here. Wild Cobra going now towards the mid lane, so maybe a little bit of an early swap. We'll see if they end up tending back and forth here afterwards. They don't want to leave any of these solo lanes out to dry. Some free XP getting picked up here. Meanwhile, Void Grubs once again getting looked at here. I believe they only took one last time, so they need at least two of them here to kind of even up the score for the Void Grubs.
I don't think that, you know, aside from Malphite being there, StormForge is really looking at this objective. Well, I could be completely mistaken considering Jarvan is going to be rotating into this fight.
Oh, and they are going to find the Lily, unfortunately. Tries to get out of there, is not going to have Ingram Witch Doctor, killing up Fifi. Towards the bot side, Caitlyn using the ult, not going to find Ace in the hole, unfortunately. Galio getting to limp away afterwards here. We'll see what kind of plates and turret. But meanwhile, towards the mid lane, Leviathan trying to have a little bit of safety. Oriana now pinched between a rock and a hard place with this bot side. Coming to the mid, and then we have J4 also there just in case. Magnet Storm still available for the rel in case they want to look for something, but it looks like they're just gonna kind of pass away, go towards that bot side, and have regular lanes once again after that exchange.
Caitlin's actually a little bit overextended here. Not going to have enough time to get away from this MF through the stride.
Yeah, too much movement speed, and now just kind of has to, you know, leave well enough alone. Great damage though, following up 2 Cobra. Here's the hero's entrance here. Gonna crash down. Gonna use the ulti there. Wild Cobra gonna pick up the kill. 4-3-0 here. Does have the Bloodthirster completed. And with Dragon coming up here in about 15 seconds, this will be number 2 Chemtech for that first one taken here. We'll see what kind of fight breaks out for that.
I mean, if we're StormForge, the game is now in our hands. So, like, you are now dictating the tempo. Being able to rotate these fights and objectives and picks as fast as they are is going to end up, you know, securing the game into a more favorable spot every single time they do it.
It looks like they were playing 4 bot side here, going up towards the mid lane for this Dragon Pit. So we'll see what happens here. Braum trying to get kicked down the door. Gonna find 2 for that, but the Cataclysm just soaks up so many people. Last time still on the outside. Gonna be able to do quite a bit of damage to Leviathan. Taking up quite a bit. Maddie Ace in the hole. Gonna find kill as well. Double there for lost times. Ball on the bear just in case for security. And what looked like a really good setup here for SFG. Just kind of really super turned as, you know, everyone kind of just came in at once and really had good target selection there. You know, last time's picking up the double, doing a great shockwave there. Exler or Anther also coming in at the very end there. And this will be first tower being taken over here.
Done. Top tower fell earlier to
Top tower. Oh, yeah. Never mind. Malphite taking that right before Wild Cobra.
It was yeah, he was
Rel
pretty
had to
fast
get back.
about it. But yeah, I mean that fight, like we didn't, the bullet time never came out from MF. They never got the opportunity to be able to, you know, get the main source of damage down, and I think that's largely the reason why they weren't able to win that fight, especially not having Malphite there. No unstoppable force for them. Bullet time never went out, and those are the types of things that will cost them team fights. You know?
Yeah, the Cataclysm held, I want to say, about three people, maybe even one of their own too inside of it, but definitely just kind of not what you want to see. You had Maddie on the backside just able to free fire, you know, last time's also in a good position. So um, you know, hopefully the MF, they had enough setup there that you would kind of think she would be in on a flank or maybe over the wall in a safer position when that engage did happen, that she had that free time for the bullet. Meanwhile, Fifi going to pick up the Rift Herald here. We'll see where it is going to be used. Now bot lane has rotated towards the mid. Those mids have scooted down now, and the gold, you know, a little around that 2k mark. Ooh, J4 towards the mid side. There's a Cataclysm into the bullet time, running on Braum, trying to soak up as much as he can. Does negate quite a bit of damage here. Malphite towards that opposite end here for the top side, looking for the unstoppable force. Does have it available if needed, but that might just be a little bit of a lot of ults traded and a handshake going away.
Yeah, I mean, if we're Stormforge, how do we get this Braum ult out, or like the Braum shield out? Because that's realistically what's costing us the ability to be able to use bullet time. We don't have any other ranged threats to be able to force out the shield, so we're kind of.
Oh, there's the unstoppable force there for Fifi. Gonna soak that up, this time surviving off of it. Leviathan not quite done yet. Meanwhile, last time's there towards the bot side. Rel's going in here, does have the Magnastorm just in case. The Flag and Drake going onto Maddie. Bromdor comes up here trying to get them drowsy for sleep. One goes down, two also asleep. Wild Cobra not gonna be in harm's way just yet, as everyone there is for the backup. Meanwhile, towards the top side, Volibear taking down the turret, still continue to press there. Last time's moving up just a little bit, does not have the ultimate here on top, and some kind of low health bars for them. So I think they just want to opt out back here, reset, grab a little bit of coin in their pockets. Meanwhile, Volibear, good amount of CS brought back now, just under 10 here. And you know, tower, or not tower plates, just the tower taken.
Getting that tower, you know, the tier 1 down on the top side definitely opens up the map a little bit more. Malphite gonna still continue upping into that AP.
I don't know about it.
Yeah, it's questionable. I see where they're coming from, you know, with their team not having nearly enough damage, but I feel if you wanted to force the AP onto someone, you'd rather it be on Gallios than Malphite.
Yeah, it kind of hinders the team. And as we just saw, he's used Unstoppable Force on Lilia quite a bit. You know, during like, you know, the lane phase and whatnot. But J4 towards the bot side now. Gonna Cataclysm 2 in their Hero's Entrance as well. Gonna pop another 2. And this is the CC Wombo combo that we talked about. MF ult coming over the top there. Braum having to leave, but is he going to be able to make it? Flash out. Volibear tries to bring the Storm to help a little bit, as well as last times towards the mid. But that is what we wanted to see out of the Forge, just a giant great wombo combo that they succeeded. J4, you know, crashing down. Here's, you know, entrance for the Galio as well, and then just great follow-up. So that team comp finally kind of comes to light.
Yeah, I mean, you draft for this type of fight, and you kind of just have to wait to get to the point where you're able to look for it. You know, Jarvan lurking in the bush, finding an off angle, catching 3 of them in the cage, and then everything else just kind of falls into place with the hero's entrance, the unstoppable force, magnet storm, all those pieces of the puzzle, you know, all hinge on, you know, either the unstoppable force getting connected first or the Jarvan flag drag into Cataclysm being the main like starting points of these fights.
Yeah, but with a lot of cooldowns now used for the ults out of the StormForge, there's not a lot they can do for the Dragon if they want to opt in here. You know, Bullet Time still down, Heroes Enter's down, the Cataclysm still down, so Unstoppable Force up, you know, a little bit of a saving grace as well as a Magnet Storm, but I think they're just gonna give, yep, they give over this Dragon, and it will be the Cloud for the soul.
Yeah, I mean, one project's probably not the end of the world to Stormforge here. They would definitely just rather, you know, save face and not have to try to fight this without any key cooldowns up. They're probably just going to take their resets here, get some more items on everybody. Storm Surge being purchased onto that Malphite, going to heavily lean into this, you know, I are you, you die type of playstyle. But we will see if that ends up paying out for them, considering that Volley has invested into the Spear of Visage as his first item. He might be getting baited.
Yeah, J4 and Volibear are going to go back and forth here. There is the Cataclysm, the, you know, the cage thrown up there for the Volibear. Volibear going to go down there after the Malphite ult. Unstoppable Force just taking him out. One shot, one kill, one opportunity, and seizes it here. Maddie towards the mid side here, trying to get this tower. It is very low, but the Magnet Storm going to come in, not going to find Maddie. Maddie going to get stunned up here by the Braum, also going to get knocked up there. Door coming out and going to block out all the MF. Plus the sleep time now. Drowsy is going to be MF. Is she going to get away? Wild Cobra being able to just step away barely after that Wombo combo here. Fifi and team going to be pushing up here as well. Going to take that tower, so that, you know, crucial mid piece taken off. And now that's a big rotation. That's a lot of, you know, entryway into the opponent's jungle and grabbing that vision, which I think is going to be super key, because as we've seen these bad team fights, it's the J4 that comes off out of nowhere to really kind of, you know, start this grand fight for them. So if they can get good vision down, I think they can kind of halter maybe some of these Wombo combos.
Yeah, and I mean, that leading Lullaby definitely providing a large amount of just bonus surprise damage for the Caitlyn there. Obviously, it wasn't enough to finish the Misfortune in that situation, but ultimately what they wanted was that tower. They didn't really care for the kill too much. It was just opening up that mid for vision, like you said, is going to be super, super important for dealing with the surprise engages from Stormforge.
And now no objective up but the Baron. I don't know if they want to start anything like that. These team fights already are coming down to the tooth and nail, so adding Baron to the mix is a little bit of a death ask here. 4-1, still gonna grant vision on it just in case someone is trying to sneak it here. This Orianna towards the bot side has gotten really, you know, good trades on the Galio. We see up 1 level and, you know, CS quite a bit, almost 50 as well for lost times, as well as picking up a lot of kills. Still deathless here and picking up the seal, something you don't often see into the Orianna, but you know, when you're having this type of games, Cataclysm going down to the Bear. Bear going to be taking a lot. Storm called coming down. Fifi trying to grab a little bit of damage here. Witch Doctor trying to get out TPUs by Gingerly, trying to run out of their Galio. Meeting up with the team. MF also taking a little bit of damage here. Is going to get hit. Drowsy on 2. They might be going in on this. Cataclysm is still down for J4. J4 goes in, but it's not having a great time there. Braum passive as well. Gonna lock and stun up everyone. Gingerly gonna be going down here towards the top side. Volibear did use TP to help join the fight, and this will be Baron for them after they pick 3.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't even talk about the potential Wombo from DPA here. Like, the shockwave into Glacial Fissure is just, it's nasty. It showed itself there, especially off the back of a leading Lullaby. There was no room for counter beside that Stormforge, so you just kind of had to sit there and take it.
Yeah, I think this team really excels. Of once they get a hold of you, they really are not stopping at all here. So 5-0 and 4 now for the mid lane lost times. Fifi 1-4 and 7, but still doing a good job being up almost 60 CS. So that difference in the KDA comparatively to the J4 kind of really nullifies itself when you look at how much farm is on this jungle. Meanwhile, you know, we talked about cooldowns and how essential they are. They just burnt a lot here going for Anther, and then all of a sudden they decided to fight again. No unstoppable force, no catechism. So where is it going to come down? There's a catechism going down again here. Flash having to put up by Maddie. They're trying to drag back here. Unstoppable force not going to find Maddie here. Maddie's still trying to get back and is really taking down this Malphite. And that's the AP build, and that's the concern you have. Lost times over the Dragon Pit here, trying to grab Glacial Fissure, not going to find anything. Fifi as well, pulling out the ball, trying to figure out if someone would like to have a little bit of a gray screen time. But I think they're just going to grab the Dragon here, and that will put them on soul point here after this.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the type of concern that you have when you're playing full AP Malphite. You don't hit that big R button, and you're useless.
And another large rod picked up here by the Malphite, so interesting, just interesting.
Imagine what a Thornmail would have done there. Surely
Right?
Caitlyn would not have had nearly as fun of a time just auto-attacking you, but one auto-attack is going to be enough to nearly one-shot the Malphite, so...
Yeah, he was getting melted like hot butter in a microwave. It did not take much, really, for them. Now, Baron being picked up here. TP Taurus, Dragon side here. We'll see there might be a little bit of a flank here from the Malphite. Fifi gonna spot it out and give the warning here to the team. Oriana, good job of, getting there and getting out. Unfortunately, Fifi is going to be going down here as everyone kind of blows all the summoners right there. Caitlyn traps on the side here, trying to deter them from trying to re-entry, but they are still sticking to the side, looking for that engage. But there's, once again, big cooldowns. Bullet time just about coming up for the MF. I think they're opting in here just to back. Gonna reset. So Baron, they haven't really taken too much on it. They've secured it for themselves, but nothing to show for it just yet.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Baron goes, that pick is going to end up stopping them from, being able to extend the pressure that Baron has. It
Oh,
looks like
J4 though, looking for the flank, and here's the crucial vision. Glacial Fissure gonna stop the MF. A great job here, J4. Gonna be going down. Hero's Entrance coming down as well. Maddie just sticking in the pocket here just to hit them. There's no one else rotating over. Volibear still towards the bot side here. Gonna be taking up quite a bit of space and maybe grabbing a tower here for his efforts.
Yeah, I mean, those are the types of concerns you have when looking onto Caitlyn, especially lacking the...
Unstoppable Force not hitting anything, and just once again, hot butter just getting melted in the microwave. Malphite not looking so rock solid anymore here. Xanther still trying to grab this tower here. Lots of minions, but that leaves mid now a little bit open for a take here as MF and Rel decided to go towards the bot side. Galio not strong enough here to really kind of hold this wave, and I think this turret is all but done.
Yeah, potentially they lose more here, not having the Malphite up. I think that, realistically they should be losing most of their jungle camps at the moment. But I don't think DP is going to opt into looking to take all of those. I'm going to look on this Volibear process instead.
As Xanther gonna hop over the wall there as the bear as he can. Fifi trying to get outside, opts not in to use the blast plan, but still has enough speed boost here with the items and that natural passive to really kind of just pop out of there. Blue buff gonna get secured by Witch Doctors here, and two turrets then taking out that. We got mid and bot side, so a little bit more pressure coming up here. Dragon up in 2 minutes, a little over 2, and that Baron in 1:30, so a lot of pressure going to be taken here towards the top side, and this kind of opens up that Volibear to maybe go towards, bot and really kind of push that, making sure the Malphite doesn't have that opportunity to, hopefully press R and one-shot Maddie.
Yeah, I mean, hey guys, we're dying really fast this Caitlyn. I don't know what I should build. Probably should opt into Rabadons so that I don't die nearly as fast.
Deathcap helps you in armor. Did you not see the patch notes that they've
Yeah, my bad.
completely reworked Malphite for AP equals armor?
Yeah, my bad, honestly. Well, I mean, the best form of damage mitigation is probably the person doing the damage to you being dead, so...
Yeah.
I think that is going to be the philosophy he's adopting here, is going to opt to attempt to one-shot this Caitlyn, with diminishing returns as the game goes on, obviously.
Best defense is a good offense type deal,
Exactly. I mean, he's got to hit it first, but I believe in him.
You just have to hit R at the right person, and speaking, this might be the opportunity here. Braum getting a little bit of poke down. We do see FSG kind of grouping together in the death bush here. Leviathan taking a little bit of damage here from the full AP Malphite. Doing a little bit of damage, but not a lot. We'll see if Volibear starts to overextend. Good job of just kind of backing out, knowing the team is around there. And we got Fifi coming up here towards the mid side. Dragon going to be up here in a minute. We'll see if they opt still towards the Baron side. They still have room to give a Dragon too, so it's not a do or die for them by any means. But picking up Soul would also be a great job to kind of keep this mobility on this team and kind of keeping, everyone on the back foot, as it were, trying to get to Maddie on that Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mean, DPA is just going to try to force them into a potential fight here. SFG's going to end up rotating into this.
Oh, I don't like Maddie's position here. Just needs to maybe get a little far over, because on the side of that and could get ulted here. Trap's going down just in case they are going to push off the Baron now. So no fight about to be breaking up last time, still towards the backside. Maddie kind of almost baiting them in here, just kind of looking out front. I don't know how well you should do. There's the flash R into the Braum. Braum going to get taken a lot of the damage here. Drowsy for the mat, or for the Rock. The Rock is going to go down. Cataclysm as well. Hero's Entrance also granting as well. That's a double kill, and we're going to not be done just yet. Triple kill there for Maddie. They are looking for more. Rel now the target, and that is going to be a takedown by Lost Times for the kill here. 8-0 and 8 for that Orianna, and 13-6 for the Caitlyn. You had one job to kill the AD carry, and it looks like that task was failed.
Well, I mean, what they're doing is they're overreaching for DPA's
Cancel bolt time?
carries. Oh,
That was a canceled bullet time. We saw
interesting.
we saw that, and then it was never mind, JK. But Baron couldn't get secured without anything.
Yeah, I mean, but like, what's happening is StormForge is like super overextending their engage, so that no one's left to really help this MF. You never really have the damage that you need, especially with Malphite, not connecting the ult and the targets that he needs it connected on. There really is no follow-up damage anymore, especially like, bullet time being forced to use the farm waves because our MF just has to run away.
Fifi needs to be careful here. Pushed up. Is going to be zooming around the map, but is it going to zoom right into a trap? Wombo combo there, so Unstoppable Force being used, maybe on a little bit more of a cooldown timer here with the AP. Maybe he's going to grant a little bit more leniency here. Meanwhile, Maddie towards the backside, going to get taken up by the Magnastorm. Galio as well, going to find purchase, and there's the Wombo combo. There's the flag and drag. Great shockwave picking up 3. Maddie trying to stick in there. Malphite, though, going to grab the kill this time around, but is it going to be enough? Double kill here for the Volibear. Malphite, unfortunately, not long for this world. Triple kill there for the bear, and that is one angry animal.
So, you know how I was talking about bullet time being your main source of damage in this comp? We did it. We fought without bullet time.
But did you win? Did you? Did you win?
We also used Unstoppable Force, so like, who's touching our Caitlyn?
And I mean, they used quite a bit there. Caitlyn's still grabbing off some great damage in all these fights, even though you are targeted. Meanwhile, Lost Times is going to say, "Hey, don't worry about me. Just keep going for the AD carry. Don't look this way." That shockwave picking up 3 was a great deter for them and really allowed them to have that time to kind of peel back there. And Volibear just going crazy here. This is the tank build that we see, but you're still doing, once again, massive amounts of damage. You didn't need a lot of AP, and you're still doing it for your team.
Exactly. That's the tank mindset we need. Not, I mean, clearly you could have opted into the full AP volley build, right? Like,
Yes.
What would he need? Like Rabadons and Rabadons gives armor now.
Nashers too. Yeah, I mean, you could have just went full AP on hit and had fun, but you're doing the dirty work for your team. But I think it's definitely paying off.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just like laughing at this Rabadons on this Malphite. I think it's very funny.
It's something. We bought another rod too, so there's no halfsies for this Malphite. It is just all in purchase. I do have to take a look at the MF though. 300 farm, so doing a great job despite the team fights not going their way and kind of really losing the pace of this game, as now we see the gold lead up to about 13k, so quite a bit here for DPA, and they're just gonna be taking down this tower. No one really to stop them too. Malphite towards the other side, and we saw top side with a J4. So this inhibitor is going to go down, no problem. I think they're just going to have to push the end here at two inhibs down.
Yeah, I mean the Seeker's Arm Guard being picked up by Caitlyn, so that's another thing that you have to worry about if you're a Malphite or Jarvan, is that cooldown being up.
I'd almost go with the Knight's Veil or something. You know, you have a little bit of lethality. You get the spell shield, kind of like that Banshees, you know, for the AD, just to avoid that, though. Galley here, taunting up 3, Unstoppable Force going in, grabbing 2 as well. Gladyston going to find lost times, and the bullet time going to go across a lot of people, but not pick up quite a bit here. Witch Doctor trying to take out the backside here. Leviathan not going to go down with lost times. We do see Maddie going down, but I think it's going to be the worth. Hashtag worth on this. We got the Orianna picking up the double kill as well as the bear. That is going to be game 1 here in the books. What? 34 to 18. Lots of kills going down here.
Yeah, I mean it came down to, you know, the draft. I think at the end of the day, it's just not being able to execute the gameplay nearly as much as they wanted to. Braum being a huge problem for them. Orianna not even taking a single death that game is definitely going to be rough for them. But I want to see how they adapt to this going into game 2.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this game. You had a really good theory comp, but just being able to pull that off when you have the Malphite that's flash Ring 2 screens away, your team can't follow up. Galio and J4 can, but that all important MF in the back, unfortunately, is not, you know, gonna help. So it's all about that setup. It's about allowing your team to develop and not forcing these plays. We did see 2 or 3, you know, times around that Dragon Pit where they did have great pick opportunities. They were able to get their primary targets, but we also saw them use a lot of vital cooldowns for the ults, picking off one person, but really left them high and dry then after that essential pick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, StormForge gonna have to try to find a response to these picks from the side of Dropping Point, but I have faith in them. I'm hoping that they are able to, you know, find the appropriate responses, get a little bit of momentum going back in the second game, and, you know, attempt to put up a little bit more of a fight.
So yeah, a little bit of tweaking and adjusting. I would like to see a different top side, something to just help this team coalesce, you know, like
Just a
just
different
not
build.
so many cooldowns. Like you did a great job of picking. They had a great vision. They had a great decisive, we're going to death push camp. They had great TPs. They had great flanks. But at the end of the day, they used too much for one kill, and it really put them in a bad scenario.
Yeah, I mean, maybe committing to the Wombo so early into the draft, you know, showing the MF and leaving the potential counter picks like the Braum, you know, alive for as long as they did. Um, Maybe they try not to do that this time so that they don't have to deal with so much of a threat in their face.
Are we able to take it to a short break here between games? I'm checking with our production crew here, or if we're gonna go straight in.
Oh,
No, we don't have time for that. I'm gonna sit down, drink a little bit of water, and get ready here for game number 2. As there's can't stop, won't stop, unstoppable forces just bringing us straight into the game. They do not want to see that Braum again. That is the first ban, and I think I agree with that one.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense definitely to get rid of that Braum, uh, costing them their entire, you know, game plan for the most part. Um, you know, seeing that Braum ban also kind of reveals their hand a little bit because they might be going back into the MF for, you know, another round, but
No, they will
obviously not
not.
anymore.
Yeah, 380 carries taken off the field. That has to feel good right now. You know, it's just it's a good call of saying, all right, we're gonna really pinch your champ pool and really focus towards this bot side. So DPA opting into the Lily again. We didn't see a lot of crazy special plays, but between the farm, securing objectives, and being at the right place, I think Fifi did a great job, even though the stat lines isn't gonna really show it.
I mean, I think Lily is just a good, safe pick. You know, Melio being uh, drafted in response. Um, But if Melio's one of the people, hit by the leading lullaby, there's only so much he can do, right?
Can't wake other people up if you're sleeping as well. And the Orianna pickup as well. That's an early mid pick.
That is a very early mid pick. Potential. Oh, Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath.
Okay. I'm not opposed. That can be flexed.
I'm for it. Cho'Gath looks sick here. I mean, realistically, showing the Orianna as early as they did doesn't leave up a bunch of tank busting options. The main tank busters are going to be the Leandries, and then potentially, another champion they can bring in a draft like the Viego. But I mean, if you're Viego here, that doesn't feel great. Twitch gonna be locked as well.
Yeah, I think they had to pick the AD carry here. Otherwise, 2 more bans on the AD carries. That would have been, 6 total, which really limits people's champ pool if you don't have a deep one here for that. So now this being taken off the board as well for StormForge. They do not want any of this heavy engage. J4 did a great job of finding the engage tool, but just not a lot of follow-up, so DPA going to be taking that off the board.
I mean, opting into the Jhin ban, confirming that 6th ADC ban, hoping to potentially put DPA in a little bit of a conundrum on their on the bottom roll. Should certainly be interesting to see what pick ends up coming out here. We might be able to see, I do not remember off the top of my head what he plays, but like potentially Sivir, I guess, or Xayah. Yeah, Xayah would make sense here, with the Nocturne being shown and the jump scare from Orianna's and stuff.
Gonna be Tom Kench, great pick.
Amazing pick, actually. Holy. That looks like a fun comp. I wish I was playing that comp.
I mean, you can. Next time you're on the Rift with everyone, just gather your team and say, hey, this is what we're drafting. Hopefully you don't pick any of this. Have fun. And Vayne being hovered here towards the top side to be answering this Cho'Gath. Very interesting of a comp. Oh, last minute going to switch to the Narvar.
Yeah, I guess Nar makes sense. But I'm curious. They're going to be using the Nocturne as less of an engage tool with the Orianna Bowl, like you typically see it, and probably more as an assassination tool for Xayah when she uses Featherstorm to potentially clean her up after that big, protective cooldown gets used. Or, I mean, they have the option to just eat her with Tom Kench, but yeah, I mean, I don't think we'll realistically see Nocturne going first here. It'll probably be Gnar would make the most sense.
Yeah, when I see Nocturne, I'm thinking we have the follow-up, but there's no front line. Once the Gnar transforms back to regular, who are you really stepping up to this comp? Cho and Tom Kench have a great frontline. Lily can definitely tank now that a full AP Malphite's not driving into her every single second. But for SFG, I see where you're trying to go with the picks. You have the Nocturne, you have the Twitch. Both love to kind of just come out of nowhere and just assassinate you. But if you don't get ahead early with this comp, I feel it's just going to fall super hard.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely, SFG leaning towards these more feast or famine comps where you have to execute them almost perfectly or you get punished for it, right? This comp is not an easy comp. It is certainly extremely difficult to, execute properly, and it's another one-track mindset type of comp, but if you mess up at any point along the line, you don't have any options after that.
Yeah, and we look for DPA, the amount that can kind of start this fight. A good lick from Tom Kench can kind of really slow someone down and eat. Ari could hit a charm and really start to walk a priority pick back. Cho'Gath with the pop-up, the silence on top, or if Lilia finds a great grouping and hits the lullaby. So we do have multiple things to really start off the fights, as well as good defense as well. If people are trying to get into them. So Maddie did a great job of game one, being able to kind of just hold everyone at bay, great kiting, making sure you were safe. So, but the way that these games were early, it was just a brawl back and forth. Do you think we're going to see a different look here for game two?
If anything, it'll probably be more objective.
Just ramp it up.
Considering the champions that are locked in here, like Twitch, having that, extra range from Melio is going to be able to interact a little bit more with Zaya and Tom Kench than MF would otherwise. I think we're going to just probably see more blood, especially with Cho'Gath versus Gnar. Definitely will end up seeing some kills, but I think we're going to hop over to an intermission real quick just so we can get everything set up and ready to go beforehand, so we're not kind of hopping in blind. Do you have anything else you want to add, though?
No, I'm just excited to see this game too and see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I think, yeah, we're going to hop over to intermission real quick just so we can get a chance to get everything set up, and we'll see you guys back as soon as the game is started. Right, welcome back to game number 2 between DPA and SFG. DPA coming off the back of a rather convincing win.
Nice
Uh,
save there.
Welcome to Summoner's
yeah,
Rift.
I mean, I don't. The first game was a little interesting, but the second game is hopefully going to be a little bit better.
72 minions spawn.
Yeah, I'm thinking so here. Maybe a little minor adjustments. Ari just possibly going to be looking at a little bit of a death trap here as they do send 4 towards the top side of the red buff here for StormForge, and I don't know how much they're going to do. Oh my god, Twitch going invisible here, looking for the Ari. Last time's gonna get out. Has to blow the flash though for that, so it's a
Minions
little
have
bit of a
spawned.
worth there. Good hot start for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ari being down Flash early is definitely going to open her up to a little bit more aggressive plays that potentially at least cost her a little bit of CS at the very least.
Yeah, not opting into the TP as well here. So that is just fine. Going with the electrocute over the grasp. I know we've kind of seen that throughout these last couple of weeks, a lot of people picking that up here towards the mid. I don't think they see Maddie or Leviathan that are in this bush here, and they might go for something cheeky themselves here. Got Feathers coming down here, not going to be able to pull just yet here, so nothing too crazy come of it, just a little bit of a hey, we're here, just in case you were wondering where
Yeah,
we
I
were.
mean, Zaya, not really having a ton of damage in the early game, especially level 1, not having the
Yeah.
ability to pull stuff back. But, I mean, a little bit of chip is never hurts, but getting traded back with by a Twitch definitely is going to hurt a little bit more.
Yeah, especially if you have the expunge here coming from it, though. Level 2 getting popped out here for the Twitch. Twitch getting slowed down there. Great job by Emilio. Gonna pack off that Tom catch to get off. Barrier being used as well. Flash, first blood there once again. The Braum, now the Tom Kench. This support is the real carry. Let me tell you the story here. I'm guessing another one will pop up here anytime.
Oh yeah, gotta collect his 2-kill tax at the beginning of the game before he starts actually supporting.
That's the power spike, 2 kills.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
towards
I
that
mean,
top side Cho'Gath, I have to think all I can think about right now is Spooky Scary Skeleton song. Just seeing that skin, that bones on Cho'Gath.
oh yeah.
Love it.
Completely unrelated, but speaking of skeletons, I don't know why I said speaking of, considering it's unrelated, but I think this month, it's October, right?
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Which,
November now.
oh wait, no, it's November.
Yeah.
Wait, that means it's Movember. Let's
November.
go, huge Movember. Mustache November. I know that our producers are running a little bit of a charity type deal for the entire month, so it would be greatly appreciated if anyone watching would be able to check that out. Potentially be able to donate a little bit to Men's Health.
Rather than spending $20 at McDonald's for, just a quarter pounder, maybe give to a little bit of a charity.
Gotta love those charities. I mean, and it's just such a great charity because
Yeah.
you really don't you don't hear about it too much, especially with health being so important nowadays. I think it's great that other people are trying to help each other out.
Yeah. Feels good to give. Unless you're Malphite and then you feel like you're giving too much. Too much.
Yeah, too much AP.
Too much EP. Too much given to you is maybe too much. Take some of it away. Give to other people. Towards the top side though, Narvar gonna get filled up here. So Meganar coming out, gonna be throwing the buildings and all the debris that he can here at the Cho'Gath. Gonna get reduced down here shortly. Nocturne power farming, trying to get that important 6 so you can officially get off the successful ganks. Not that you can't before, but it's just very tough to get around here, especially with these teams. Dragon spawning here, also Void Grub spawning. very soon we'll see what kind of objective taking. As I look at both of these teams, nothing too crazy pops out where you have to get 6 voids. Otherwise your team comp kind of falls apart. But Gnar gonna get knocked up here. Great silence there by the Cho.
Yeah, I mean those grubs being extremely vital for I think both sides realistically. Opening up a little bit more of the map, potentially putting pressure on those towers. It'll feel good for either team to really get those.
CS here throughout the teams pretty even and a lot more calm than what we saw in game one. Only one death early, and that was of course on the Braum. I mean, who else would it have gone to?
Oh yeah, I mean gotta give first blood to the supports. I mean, have you seen that guy's mustache? They were just donating. Like they know what's up.
Exactly. And if we were in the mid lane for the Boros, and meanwhile, ooh, towards the mid side here. Gonna go down Ginger. Unfortunately, lost time's gonna pick up right where he left off. A little bit of anything you can do, I can do better call there for picking the Orianna away, but does not have the same success. Already dying, kind of big shoes to fill up on. But now towards the mid side, Spirit Rush being used by the Ahri, gonna hop over the wall. Void Grub still being taken out by Fifi, so they're gonna delay just a little bit here for them. Twitch as well around the area, which means Xayah can kind of free farm here. Charm going wide here. Does hit the ball for 2 as well. They might be opting to give this last Void Grub on their side, and I think they will. So a little bit of good trades back and forth, and once again, a rotation to the mid towards the bot side.
I mean, definitely going to be feeling good, getting those picks off on the early game, rotating your support around the map properly. Gonna end up, taking a little bit of a downside with, Nocturne being able to pick up 2 of those grubs, but it's not gonna feel terrible. You get gold on your Ahri, and you're feeling good.
Yeah, you got 1, so, at least, for the next set, you can kind of really set yourself up here. Dragon's still up on the board here, and they're going to be switching once again mid for the bot, back and forth. So we'll see what Twitch and Melio have towards the bot side. A lot of farm CS going even. We see mid lane straight 61, top side as well. Nocturne now having a little bit of that lead. Does hit the Paranoia for the 6 as well here. So that all important level. We'll see where he opts in to use it here for his first ult.
No, I didn't want to say it, but Cho'Gath's also going full AP.
Oh my god, stop. Oh, the counter. Just, maybe it's just the Roa. I'm guessing it's the Roa build, so you're gonna go a little bit tank, and then he's gonna go just,
You know,
he's not gonna
I
go
mean,
full AP. He's not gonna go
least-
full AP.
if he goes full AP,
Oh
he
my
can
God.
get his tank stats.
Nom, 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 nom. So close. Cho'Gath still finding purchase. Xanther gonna grab the kill onto Gnar after the flash. Burning it all. Fifi now with the Dragon and Leviathan in the pit. That is gonna go down here. No contest at all. Chemtech for 2, so we could see a really nice Infernal Soul as well here for this game. I think that would be interesting.
I'm gonna take my bets on Ocean Soul. I love Ocean Soul. I think it'll be really funny with the Cho'Gath.
I think it will too. Plus, Tom Kench being able to survive so long, and then he'll just back up, with that gray health bar passive. I think that would be great.
But I mean, yeah, there's the Roa that you were talking about, and we don't quite get to see the rest of his build just yet. But I will be watching eagerly to see if he ends up opting into a little bit more AP or not.
Yeah. I mean, completing the road before the 10 minutes is a very, very vital piece. If you started to maybe complete at that minute 13 or 15 mark, you just feel like you are so far behind already, kind of delaying a lot for your team. So, bot side not quite knowing where Nocturne is, still opts to push up. So they have to have some inkling that Nocturne is not here as they continue. Plate going down here. Maddie just continually to farm and just waiting for those team fights to kind of pop up here. So Nocturne not using the Paranoia early. Do you think he's just going to keep power farming here until, maybe something shows up for him?
I'm pretty sure what he's opting into doing is saving his money for just before this second set of grubs, or just to catch Lilia out on the grubs. Potentially right here as this fight breaks out on the top side. You see Gnar and Lilia posturing into that river, but Lilia's gonna get the grab and back off a little bit.
Yeah, just gonna grab the vision there, making sure that you're not gonna sneak it as well. Nocturne still towards that top side, gonna end up hitting the recall button. So, we see Nar keep on pushing in and having that prio towards top side to really help, for those void grubs. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. Bot lane also backing her early. I think this might be just a full commit here to the void grubs if we see Twitch start to head there.
Yeah, I mean they could do what they did for that first set of void grubs and lane swap the Orianna and the Twitch, so they just have numbers advantage there. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. They're going to send Twitch back to bot lane, and with Tahm Kench and Xayah making their way towards the top side here, I can't really see an easy way for StormForge to be able to get this second set of grubs.
Yeah, they do end up getting spotted out, so a lot of information being, took over there. Nocturne and Emilio still trying to maybe make their way over or be looking for camps, but they are going to be very sad as there is nothing there. So a lot of time going to get wasted here by the Nocturne. Meanwhile, this should be all three of them taken down without any contest.
Yeah, and I mean, StormForge gonna end up losing out on those grubs, but gonna collect a couple plates, for their troubles. Thankfully, towards that Twitch on the bottom side, gonna, get 2 solo plates for himself, and they'll take the Krugs away, and it looks like Nocturne's gonna end up running into their bot lane in the jungle.
Yeah, gonna use that nice darkness to just kind of help him get a little movement speed to get out of there. Also running to that T-mat right away for the Nocturne. I know we've seen a couple of, different builds here for your start to see exactly where he's going to go with that. Tahm Kench here clearing a little bit of vision. Minute left here on the Dragon. That is the Chemtech. That is number 2. So not quite on the soul point or the all-inclusive one that we'll see at the end here. Orianna still trying to find a little bit of purchase worth for that seal, not having any stacks on that. Tower plating going down as well. Maddie doing a good job, but is he gonna get caught out here? Twitch pops out from the invis, does not pop the ult as well. But lost times towards the side too. Might be looking to catch whoever face checks this bush. Oh, and just a little bit of lack of patience. Otherwise, there it was. Spirit Rush going forward here. Not going to find anyone with the charm, unfortunately. Just very awkward timing, and just a second delayed could have spelt a different lane.
Yeah, I mean, they committed all 4 people there for that bot side, potentially, make a play, but nothing really came of it. I mean, StormForge bot T1 is going to be down 4 of those plates almost, and going into Dragon, or the second Dragon, you definitely don't want your tower to be that fragile.
Nocturne going for Lilia trying to get out of there. Fifi gonna drop here for Witch Doctor Leviathan trying to get out as well. Twitch popping the ult, going towards Maddie. Maddie going very low here. They have to end up giving this Dragon. Meanwhile, it is getting started up here by Wild Cobra. So great use of the Nocturne ult, picking off the jungle before the drag fight even starts.
Yeah, and I mean, Wild Cobra just showing how potent the combination of Twitch and Melio is, with the campfire, increasing the range of Twitch's auto attacks, and Spray and Pray also doing the same thing. I don't remember off the top of my head what the exact numbers are for Spray and Pray. I think it increases it by 300 or something like that. It's like it's a lot, but he's nearly at like 1,000 with Melio W. It is 300. Okay, so after all your taxes and stuff and all your number crunching, it's like 925 or something like that. That's a lot of range to have to deal with.
Yeah, we don't have really anything to get to the backline on the Twitch, so that could be the problem here. Exactly for them, unless that Spirit Rush Charm lands or a good pop up by Xanther here, but that has to mean that Wild Cobra is out of position. And at the end of the first game, we saw a great farm. It was like something over 300. So while the team was not doing well, it was a great job by Wild Cobra to kind of just make sure I had a great stat line, even though the the team didn't end up winning on game one here. So, 3-1 for the game, a little over 2K for the goal difference here. So a lot calmer here game two.
Yeah, I think StormForge just hates me, to be honest. I had predicted that this game was going to be really bloody, and it just isn't.
It could be. The game's, once you break open the mid section of this, we're reaching towards that 20-minute mark. You could be totally right.
But that's late game. We were talking about, oh my god, fight.
Yeah, a lot of CC going in here for Leviathan. Stormcutters has to go out. Is it going to be enough towards the Nocturne Flash? Maddie going to be going down here by the Nocturne. Nocturne trying to get away, use the ult a little bit more defensively this time here. Meanwhile, Wild Witch Doctor's going to go down here with a Charm Spirit Rush by the RAPP. Also just using the Laundries, just boiling down a little bit of damage over time here. They're going to keep pushing this mid. Tower going to be going down. Rift Herald is up right now, and they still have 2.5 minutes here for that Dragon.
Yeah, and I mean, for that fight to end the way that it did, especially off the back of Tom Kench being a little overextended, Zaya finding the Feather Storm into like 8 feathers onto the Twitch.
Yes.
Definitely did a number to their play there, but the play ended up working out for them, and they got the tower as the result, and they're probably going to end up claiming this Herald as well.
Yeah, Fifi now clearing a little bit of vision here towards the top side. Going to be looking at getting that Rift Herald, or at least starting it up. They send Ari towards bot. No TP to join in the fight, but just going to collect a little bit of free farm for them here. Grabbed Rift Herald last game too. I believe they did take a tower off of a push on a Dragon here. Meanwhile, Emilio and Twitch gonna come over. Just gonna say do a quick hay drive by. Nocturne towards the top side. Paranoia still not available as well. So once again, kind of these big cooldowns that they have to be aware of. Clover doing a lot of damage here. Tom Kench gonna channel, get in there. Maddie very low, gonna step up, but while Cobra gonna end up grabbing the kill. Eat by Tom Kench here. Paranoia as well. Not quite up, but still finding Fifi here with the Lily, trying to get away. Pop up here by the Cho'Gath. Double kill for Xanther. TP also towards the top side. Oriana's going to now join the fight. Does have Shockwave available. Going to grab 2 there. Leviathan and Xanther having to go back towards the mid tower. Megan R trying to scoot back. The Spirit Rush to Ari. Ari going to go over the wall back to the team and kind of group up. So a great team fight here by StormForge.
And I mean, StormForge not really having the damage for it outside of Twitch falling, but big shockwaves, big ultimate like cooldown hits, but just no follow up for it at all. So they don't really get to collect as many kills as they'd like. But it definitely is not the worst situation for them.
Yeah, you grab 2. We still have a lot of shutdowns on top of the board. Cho'Gath picking up 2 as well here. And I'm happy to report it is not a full AP Cho as well. So you can, mark that off your bingo sheet. Unfortunately, you're not going to collect the corner space on that one.
Oh man, I was really hoping for AP Gnar. That one would have been real good.
I mean, or we could go AP Yi, I remember back when that was a thing. That was always a but when Paranoia getting used out here for the Ari, gonna Spirit Rush away. A little bit of a questionable cooldown use here for the Ari. You're never gonna really have enough unless that ult is down for her. Dragon though being picked up, and no one's gonna be really contesting that one. Nocturne towards the top side. They're gonna start to find this Cho'Gath a little far out. This Oriana and Nocturne now gonna take the 2v1. Oriana here, Shockwave towards the Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath taking up a lot of damage, trying to CC his way out here. Does flash over, flash blown by the Gnar as well. Gonna pop up. Wild Cobra, but Twitch there, unfortunately, not going to be able to pick up the kill. 2, 3, and 1 Gnar with that Trinity Force is going to pick it up for himself.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to feel good. Getting that Gnar off the board as Baron is spawning. Do they have the damage for it? Probably not, but they can use good vision.
Yeah, good setup to make sure that there's nothing crazy on the other side. Meanwhile, Gnar here towards Zaya just in case he does end up falling, but they are going to start the
Oh.
Baron. You know, questionable if they have enough damage and frontline for it. Twitch now going more towards the back of the Baron where more damage is going to be taken down. They are going to opt to run out of here, and it is quickly sniffed out by DPA.
Yeah, I think they realized that their damage, that Bork not exactly gonna be enough to be able to knock down the big purple worm.
Yeah, Baron, especially at 20 minutes, it is such a bait. I almost feel like people knowing, you know, we're in the lead, we could do it, but you never have enough damage unless you have like a 3-item AD carry that's just, you know, cracked out of their mind.
Yeah, or if your entire enemy team is dead.
Yeah.
If they're all dead and like all long timers, then you're
Yeah, you got
probably
20,
fine
30
with it.
seconds. You can go for it.
But definitely not with all 5 of them up sitting mid and when you only have a Twitch spear damage on Baron. That's probably not gonna work.
You know, I've seen worse things. I don't think they've ever really worked out. You know, easy Baron smite. You know, a one good ult, a Jinx rocket. You know, some of those things aren't a thing, or a random maybe Karthus ult from a different game happens to code into yours and ends up taking Wild Cobra. Though gonna get eaten up here by the Kench. Does have to use Flash. There is a Shockwave picking up 3. A great turn of events. Featherstorm also going to get used out here. Nocturne, Witch Doctor gonna have enough damage there. Xanther trying to get out there, is going to get poked out by the Melio, and now towards the other side, Spirit Rush by Last Times have to get out of there. Still deathless, but has to retreat. And this is what you just talked about. If you have enough people dead, you can do the Baron as they start this up once again.
Yeah, I mean, definitely gonna feel very, very good off of the back of that fight, although we did use Twitch Flash for that play. So if something similar to that situation happens again, Twitch will be significantly more vulnerable to dying. But overall, going to be a very profitable play for the side of StormForge.
Yeah, StormForge picking up that Wild Cobra just a little taken out, but the Orianna did a great job of sticking around, finding 3, and then the Paranoia on top of it too to kind of do those counter attacks here. While they don't have to engage, you know, they might be able to counter engage as we just saw now. With the Baron play, we'll see if they end up taking that middle inhib. Topside, Ari is going to get pushed out, but still a T1, 2 of them still up for the taking. So, you know, Baron maybe not going to be used for an inhibitor turret just this time. Twitch going invisible, maybe looking here for Maddie. Getting a lot of damage taken away here, but the Twitch ult being popped, so a big cooldown of theirs. Meanwhile, Nocturne towards the side, just in case someone steps up. He does have Paranoia available.
Yeah, you know, that chip that early, 1 minute before Dragon spawns, isn't going to be enough to, you know, force them to not be able to take this dragon, but it will definitely hurt if they don't take a recall soon. Because Zaya being half HP going into dragon definitely does not feel good.
And plus the Twitch ult now being down as well. If they have that timer in their head, that is a major cooldown of theirs. So if they can get to the Twitch, you know, that is kind of the difference maker. But I touched about this earlier. Who is really getting on the Twitch when he's on that back line? You know, you kind of have that pick in front of you, front to back comp, where you're not able to dive. So we'll see what kind they try to enter here into the jungle. They have both of these ward bushes. Death Bush is kind of warded here. TP being used here. Tomkins trying to get out there. Still has the bar. He's not going to be able to save it as well. Megadar also coming in. Shockwave grabbing to Paranoia coming out, going towards the bot side here. And then Lilia trying to get away. Unfortunately, is not going to. Double kick here by the Twitch, looking for more. Last time Xanther have to run away here. Twitch moving forward, being the front line almost, and really deterring them. You gotta walk with all 5. Unfortunately, Leviathan finding that out the hard way. Trying to gain entrance to this dragon. They're not going to find it. This is only the second dragon. You really didn't need to step up there. And they still have Baron buff, so they're going to start pushing these waves immensely.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely hurt for the side of DP, especially with this Twitch picking up the majority of that
Lost
gold.
times here. Twitch gonna get charmed out here. Still a lot of damage being taken out. Blade of the Rune King proc gonna happen here. Expunge. Is it gonna be enough? Just Ari slowly ticking down, and
Yeah.
Twitch is gonna find it. Wild Cobra shut down there. A lot of gold in the pocket. 5, 3, and 5 has the Hurricane, has the Blade of the Rune King, and this is where Twitch becomes scary.
Yeah, that poison being very, very lethal to the Fox Lady. Gonna hurt quite a bit. He opts into buying the Collector to make sure his poison can confirm those kills.
Yeah, it's just uh, interesting. Just interesting here.
I mean, you know, I more sense than full AP Malphite at least.
Yes. I feel bad for the VOD reviews on this one. It's just gonna be why? Why are they picking on me so much?
I mean, but that's the type of you know. I don't think that's entirely the player's fault because there could be multiple factors
Yeah,
going into that. It could be that whoever was doing the draft for them had said like you go full AP Malphite here, and it just didn't work out for them, or whatever.
maybe
But
raising my hand next time and go. I don't know if that's the play.
yeah, I don't know if that's the play. But no AP Malphite in this game, thankfully. This Twitch being the monster that he is, Zaya was supposed to be a safe pick here, but she ends up with the most deaths in the game right now, and I think it's just because she's getting targeted as much as she is. But we gotta figure out a way to keep her up so they have enough damage to be able to deal with all of these scary champions that StormForge has.
Yeah, which Dr. Nocturne towards the side here, just waiting for someone to step up. Nar towards the bot side does have TP here to be used just in case Cho'Gath, Xanther still maybe having to back here and answer the Gnar. They have to send someone, otherwise that is a free tower here. And Wild Cobra just waiting in the wings with that Twitch, being able to pick someone off. And I think that's kind of the story of how they came back into this, was not respecting Twitch's invisibility and the amount of damage that could be done. As we see that popped in with the Nocturne all that, I think they got great use out of which Doctor's Nocturne pick here for this draft.
Yeah, I mean, you had made a comment about them not really having an ability to shut down this Twitch inside of team fights. So, in my head, right, if we don't have a way to shut down Twitch inside of team fights, why are we team fighting?
Yeah.
It's like
It's
it's not like we have big like team fighting cooldowns that we need to use. We have Spirit Rush, which can be used kind of in isolation by itself. Featherstorm, while it's good in team fights, is really just a tool to keep Zaya alive. And the same with Devour, right? It can be used as a pick tool, or it can be used as defensive for your carries. So there's not really a reason as to why DPA should be playing the way that they are with these heavy, team fight engages rather than trying to, lurk around vision and try to catch out somebody on a side lane alone. But they will continue to opt to hold them in.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Ari, and it's a great pick potential with the follow up of everyone, but everyone just seems not on the same page or a little discombobulated with the pushes here. Cho'Gath, maybe a little overextended. The team having to rotate over to them. Emilio popping the Shurelia's Blessing, trying to grab a little bit of movement speed for the team. Not too long of a cooldown on that as well. Lost times. And Leviathan going to be able to spot out that ward. Maddie as well with a control ward, so denying a little bit of vision, maybe moving up just a little bit, enough for them to move something. Meanwhile, Nar towards the bot side, going to find Lilia if he has to get away here. Is going to pick up the camp, so grabbing a little bit of more money in his pocket here. Going for that double burn damage as well. Does have the Zanya's complete, just in case Nocturne tries to come back around again as well.
StormForge doing a really good job about pressuring out these side lanes in this scenario. TPs are available for both sides, but StormForge being the only ones to really claim their side lanes and get the waves as deep as they are, forcing DPA to respond accordingly.
A little bit of a dragon dance going on here now. Fight for the vision. Up top, Fifi trying to hit someone with that ball, trying to find that all-important Twitch. with it for the lullaby so the team can follow up. Meanwhile, Oriana towards the top side. Great job doing the push. Has the back. Does have TP to join the fight just in case. There is the TP here from the Oriana, opting not to back, but still in the death bush here of the Dragon Pit. Meanwhile, here's a Nocturne El Paranoia. Gonna find one with the Cho'Gath. I'm not sure if that was it. Charm here on it, but a two-man Shockwave. Maddie gonna do the Featherstorm pull. Great job. Great damage towards the backside here. Shut down for Lilia. Fifi grabbing that as well. They are gonna be on the offensive now. Spirit Rush by the Ahri. Having one shot left. Might get another reset here after the kill. Does go down for the Gnar here with that Trinity Force and Black Cleaver doing mass amounts of damage. Fifi goes golden here for a second. Gonna survive, and what a play. Shutting down almost an ace here, minus a Nocturne for them. And the Dragon, was picked up here by Melio.
Yeah, I mean, SFG ended up getting the dragon, but at what cost? You just forked over a bunch of gold to the side of DPA, and I'm sure if you're DPA, you're going to pick up this, shutdown as well off the Nocturne. It's definitely not going to feel good, especially with Nocturne having a disconnected respawn timer by about 20 seconds, means that they can just kind of make their way into Baron here. Relatively uncontested, too.
Yeah, they could opt into that. A lot of big cooldowns as well as people on those death timers. We'll see if Zaya opts in to go over there. Fifi still a little low after the fight. There is a couple of fruit plants to heal up on just in case they do want to start it. TP also being used here by the Ahri. Gonna help out. A little vision granted here by the scouting ward. So they're gonna take a look at the Baron and no, it's not started, so there's no official rush here. Spirit Rush by the Ahri, trying to find the charm. Not gonna find it though. So they are going to regroup here towards the mid, reset, and there will be no Baron fight. 600 gold difference here for the game, so very close still.
That fight definitely, assisting in closing the gap of that, gold differential. Lydia extremely close to this Rabadon's probably is gonna want it before this huge team fight breaks out for this Baron. But even Zaya's close to her third item at this point. We're starting to hit power spikes on the side of DPA, catching up to the income of this Twitch. Is going to start to, raise a little bit of concerns for the side of SFG.
Lost times. A little too far up here. Doesn't have Spirit Rush available as well. Wild Cobra going to pick up a kill. And that might be Baron here. Great pick off as, Lost Times doing a good job of pushing up, but maybe a little too far, unfortunately, with not the correct vision. Baron going to get started out. We'll see what exactly happens here. No, they're just going to clear vision. They haven't quite started it just yet. A little bit of bait into the team just in case Nocturne wants to start to counter. TP being used here by the Gnar. Gonna find not a lot of people as there's rooted down, but Wild Cobra going to take out Maddie, a key piece in the double kill. Also the top catch going to go down. Fifi has to run away here, grabbing a little bit of movement speed boost. Xanthra's going to go down as well. Triple kill there for the Twitch. Wild Cobra feeling really good at the end of this. And once again, that counter engage, they didn't start Baron. They should have just backed off. But a great TP, a great use to force the fight, keeping that Twitch alive, and no one can touch him right now.
Wild Cobra just getting to glide for free in those fights. Just, kind of farming the damage with the Bork and the Runin, spreading the poison as much as possible, and just kind of collecting the kills with, the namesake of the item they collected.
Yeah, gonna back and finish out now, i.e. being completed here, so even more damage onto the Twitch and even more scary. 9, 4, and 7 for Wild Cobra, getting a little bit of revenge here. 80 carry swapping back and forth. It's my time to shine now. Beefy picking up that red buff for the team. Dragon coming up in 1 minute, and this might spell the end here of this game if they are not careful. This will be soul point as well for them, so if they want to fight, this might be their only time to do that.
Yeah, you do not want to see a Twitch with a Cloud Soul. He is going to be completely untouchable now. That will not feel good to fight against.
Yeah, Nocturne here just about completed to the 4th item here. Stride Breaker, the Stairs Gauge, and that third one, unfortunately, I cannot remember for the life of me the name of that, but I know it reduces, or it increases. Yeah, it increases your movement speed when you're ulting, so it's just even crazier Nocturne. It's like a must-have always on it here. Scuttle gonna get picked up and clear all the vision here. Lost Times and Leviathan just kind of chasing out here. We talked about them going into the fights and the counter punches, so they need to just kind of hold firm here at the side. Oriana, though, towards the top side, gonna grab a tower here, so I think they're gonna have to sacrifice that, unfortunately, for this dragon.
Yeah, I mean that the Baron being up, SFG could just opt into not going to the dragon and taking the rest of those towers.
Oh, great charm there by Ari with now Spirit Rush being used here. TP as well here by the Oriana. Gonna try to find someone. Twitch stepping up a little bit. Gonna be proccing a little bit of damage. Not using the ult just yet. Cloud Dragon being taken over. So 3-3 apiece. Our next one will be the Soul at the 40-minute mark here. So this game really going the distance.
Yeah, gonna be, kind of a back and forth, I think, type of a scrap. But the game could be nearing a close, especially off the back of that cooldown being used.
Yeah, Nocturne here
Paranoia.
towards the mid side, trying to find lost times. Does have to flash away. Use the Spirit Rush a little earlier. Meanwhile, Fifi getting caught up by the Nard. Not going to take any more damage, though. Just use, a little bit of stun cooldown. Walks away.
Yeah, I mean, two towers being taken from the Baron. Baron coming up. Or Baron's actually about to drop off in 15 seconds. I'm curious to see what DPA's game plan is now, especially off the back of that pick. Maybe they can recognize that they need to shift the tone of their gameplay a little bit and play more towards those picks.
Yeah, they're going to great job of picking up hacks with the Melio. Just, looking to check a face, a bush without a ward. And fortunately, with just, I think it was the Ari and the Cho'Gath, just those two were able to take him out very easily. So that, opens up a little bit of door. And we see the vision too towards the bot side of DPA. And, they have great vision to the entrance of their Dragon Pit. Maybe not towards, the bot side where Cho'Gath is, but they have themselves set up just in case there is a wandering person, or they can make a pick here to maybe even up the weight brackets on this.
And I mean, the longer this game goes on, the scarier Cho'Gath is going to end up becoming. And, Tom Kench as well now, having that Heartsteel is going to make them both scale infinitely. So,
yeah, Lily as well scaling up quite a bit with that, finishing the death cap. It does have the Riftmaker as well, and the Zanyas just in case that all important Leandries as well here. So we'll see what the final item is for that as well. Does have Chain Vest just in case. Everyone playing very cautious now, knowing what one death will mean for the team.
one death spells the end of this game, regardless of the team, actually. I think at this point, if anyone goes down, both teams' game plans just kind of go out the window.
Yeah, 30 to 40 second death timers really means quite a bit here. Even if you oddball yourself into the 3v4, Nocturne and Emilio towards the top side just in case anyone does come. But they are just going to back away. Tom Kench and crew now just kind of floating about. As for trying to get good vision ahead here. 1 minute left on the Baron, so they are going to be fighting tooth and nail for this, and Dragon on the back of that for 1:30. So we could see two dances here, even if they extend the fights.
And I mean, this Dragon is going to end up resulting in a soul for either team. Whoever takes this gets the soul. Both teams honestly want this soul really bad. Lilia is able to utilize it very well. Tom Kench is able to utilize it super well. Ari obviously gets a lot of value out of it. Xayah being able to reposition herself for a little bit longer. Twitch can use it super well. Not bad on Melio. Really, really good on Nocturne. Yeah, I mean, the soul is super big for both comps here.
Kind of a death push here, set up a little bit, trying to clear vision now. As they walk away, they want this Baron Pit as clean as they can, just so they have to have someone set up. They are going to find the Twitch here, charmed by the Ari. Twitch gonna go golden here. Nocturne, alt Paranoia trying to get him here. Unfortunately, a lot of shielding by Emilio. Not gonna find it. Not for the rest of the team. Shockwave picking up 3 there. Quadra kill by the Twitch, and that'll be game's end right there. I can't imagine they're going to be holding this defense for very long. Great job by Lost Times finding out the Twitch, but there's no team to back them up.
has to stay golden and stay there. Nocturne coming in on that paranoia and just cleaning up as the Twitch. That should be it.
Yeah, that is not gonna feel great if you were the side of DPA. That is a very strong Twitch, pretty much one-shot of your team. And I mean, that Shockwave, just so much value off of that ability. Catching all three members up there in the topside jungle and just, punishing accordingly.
Yeah, both towers going down. And the Nexus now just hitting to the ground. Game 3, play the Silver Scrapes. We got a game on our hands.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we talked about, StormForge needing their answer to what happened to game one, and I think they found it. I think they were able to, get their footing in this game and put the gas on the pedal or the pedal to the metal and take back control of the series and put themselves back in the driver's seat going into this third game.
This Twitch damage here, 36,000 at the end, 13-4 and 7 for that end score line. That is a fed Twitch. Don't think I don't think we're gonna see it here in game 3. I think they take this away.
Yeah, more likely than not, they will hit one of those pieces, either Emilio or the Twitch, both providing quite a large amount of value. But I mean, if we're DPA now, what do we do? How do we stop uh, a similar situation from happening?
Yeah, I think it's with that team comp sense, when the Twitch does pop up, you got to be able to find some way to get towards that backside or make sure you respect it early enough that it doesn't get ahead. There was a lot of fights and a lot of pickouts, which, we kind of called in that early draft that team is wanting. They don't have a lot of frontline, but if they do catch you off-footed, there's no really where to go there. And, that game kind of proved it that you don't need a front line. You just need to outmaneuver and outplay your opponent. So unfortunately, DP not respecting the Twitch early and really secluded them to the loss at the end.
Looks like we're gonna go instantly into draft for game number 3. No breaks
That's
for
fine.
us.
It's fine.
But yeah, I mean, DPA committing, so many bans towards that ADC slot, just to have the Twitch come out and still be a problem for them. So I don't know how they could change up their bans to avoid a similar situation, but it looks like that the Nocturne and Braum and Camille is going to go off the board.
Are they switched by his DPA on red side?
No, I think it's I think DPA is on red side. That would make the most sense.
Okay, I was like, why are they banning out their own Nocturne?
Yeah.
They're kind of switching through all the 80 carries. They opt. Okay, so Twitch being taken off. Yeah, I believe that is a switch. So just Jinx being picked up here by StormForge then on the blue side, correct? I want to make sure I'm reading this right.
I would assume correctly that would be the Jinx for StormForge, which would make sense considering that, Jinx and Twitch play very, very similarly with, just trying to get your autos down as much as possible, kind of lurk around the back of a fight and, attempt to get those kills as fast as you can. Ballista.
Interesting. Not usually the 80 carry that you see, for this meta, but can definitely be very effective, depending on the comp you're running. Picking up the Amumu has been banned for quite a bit as well, so I'm guessing we're going to kind of see maybe a tank engage here with a Callista, being able to kind of rethrow them into the fight after the engage. Nelio not being banned out and picked up once again, such a valued pick here in the game too, keeping that Twitch alive with that Ari pick and just kind of really helping out the team overall for the heals and shields.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch just is super, super potent with Jinx as well, especially having that, bonus auto range that Jinx can get a lot of value out of when Rocket's up to 650 at max rank, and the Campfire is going to make that even further and give her extra burn on her autos and help secure the kills that she needs to proc excited and take over fights.
Interesting here. We see this Skarner pick up as well. A great jungler in his own sense and really kind of a game changer with that alt. Nico towards the other side, maybe a little bit more of a, sneaky play. You got to make sure you're counting your minions, making sure there's no random wards running at you, or you have the right champion in front of you too, because it can kind of really, pause and take notice in the game for that, to make sure, maybe some second guessing here for StormForge Gaming, if they do have the correct target.
Yeah, I mean, certainly going to be
Malphite.
yeah, Malphite, of course. Can't have the AP up. But I honestly think that Nico might go towards the support role.
Okay.
It would make sense, with the Callista having the pop engage with her ult, as well as just being, generally good with Callista's Mark passive and being able to proc that. It would make the most sense, unless if they push this Amumu down. But I mean, it definitely it makes sense.
Well, yeah, it definitely could be maybe a little bit of a flex even too if they pick top lane. That mid support role can still be up for grabs and really grab some great value for that R5 pick then afterwards. That way getting picked up, and I think that could also, I've seen it support. I don't know if it's going to be this time, but I think it's going to be midway.
Yeah, I don't know about Hue Callista.
It could happen, just pulling way to safety.
I'll make sure to test that out in Solo Queue.
We can play afterwards and see how our lane phase goes.
Yes.
Ahri getting looked at here. Twist of Fate as well, but it's going to go back towards the Ahri. I like the TF in this. You have that early to mid game spike and being able to help your team out, but the Ahri charm being very potent and well in game 1. Or in game 2 here, excuse me, and then we'll see in game 3, and a Nasus being flexed here. So stacks on stacks on stacks with this big boy in Shurima. We'll see. Nope. And unfortunately, the Call of the Forge with Yorn.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn really just, makes sense towards the game plan. Get this Jinx as many picks as possible and have her go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Cho'Gath, not full AP either, so it could be.
Maybe we'll see the full AP Ornn.
What abilities scale off AP on Ornn? Does the ult take any?
Does W not scale it? No, W scales with armor, right?
I need to play more Ornn to answer these questions. That's my new challenge, is to AP full Ornn and see what comes of it.
Yep, this is all. His Q
Okay.
scales with AD.
So, maybe full AD Ornn then. It could happen.
Yeah, I can't imagine, us going full AP Ornn for the ult damage, but, could be some new forbidden Korean tech that they're working on.
Faker did it in his, bootleg camp. He went Leandri's Blackfire Torch, Death Cap, and you just immediately shred the entire team if you hit all 5.
That would make sense, yeah.
Ooh, what if his alt bounced between like a brand alt if you hit someone,
You
and then
mean
you
like
just had the
old
ram
fiddle
going
sticks?
back and forth? That would be
Um,
epic.
That wouldn't be good at all. What do you mean?
I think it would be hilarious if you're playing Ornn. That is, yeah.
15 knockups?
Oh my god, that would be disgusting, but hilarious.
But yeah, this Nico is definitely going towards the bot side here. Lane assignments look very standard going into this game. Should be very interesting. Both teams sitting at 1-1 in this series. Both hoping to, come out of this week with a win. We'll just have to see who's able to, get ahead and snowball the game out of control. Because I think realistically, that's their win condition for both teams, is to attempt to get a lead early and snowball it.
Yeah, they both have great mid to late once again. So, are we going to see that cool, calm, collected, only 5 kills here in 15 minutes? Or is it going to be the, full sender, 20 kills within 10 minutes, and we're just scrapping from start, from first minute?
Yeah, I mean, only time could tell, but I believe we are going to go into intermission here real quick, right before the game, so we can catch up with our, production timer. Anything else you want to add before we go there?
There's no AP Malphite, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this game.
You know what? Yeah. No AP Malphite. All right, you guys. We'll see you as soon as we're able to go into the game after this intermission. Alrighty, welcome back to game 3, everyone, of DPA versus SFG. Now, should be a crazy third game to close out the set.
Yeah,
Hoping
I'm
for
expecting just back and forth, wild haymakers all the way around here. So can't imagine anything else. It's gonna be interesting for the spot lane. We have to keep an eye on this
30
Nico
seconds
Callista
till
to
ring
see
to
how it
spawn.
works.
in theory it makes sense, but I know this lane is rather relatively difficult to execute historically, so it'll definitely be somewhere where we need to watch.
Cleanse on Wild Cobra as well for the Jinx, so no barrier being used, but in a good sense, you do have the Mumu CC, you have Nico ult as well. Wei can kind of lock you up with a little bit of fear and grasp,
Minions
and the
have
Cho'Gath
spawned.
obviously having the CC chain as well there. So Wild Cobra gonna have to have a repeat performance as he did in game 2, popping off on the Twitch. We'll see if Jinx can kind of bring to life as well.
I think this game will largely be decided by both ADCs, so a little bit of potential ADC diff look at this game.
Yeah,
Well,
the Caitlyn did so well game 1. I was hoping to see a bit more of that, traditional lock in here. But the Kalista could definitely be in one of those pocket pits, having the mobility, um, being able to kind of dance around and scoot around these fights. So we'll see exactly what happens. A good push here right away at level 1. They will be granted level 2 here in that bot lane, but I don't know how aggressive they will be at the end of it all.
yeah, I mean, and we saw on the top side that Warren opted into leashing the Skarner, so DPA has that information available to them that Skarner is on that top side, and Cho'Gath is going to be able to secure level 2 first, but doesn't really do much.
Yeah, a little bit of CS, but I mean that will push back into him there. Ari and Wei kind of trading back and forth as well, so a little bit of slow start to the game. We don't see really any major ganks here from Mumu or Skarner pre-6 as well, so this could be just a farm, until we see something on the map that we have to take for the objectives here. There's been fights for these Void Grubs since game 1, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon here, so we'll have to watch at that 5-6 minute mark if anyone really truly goes over there right away when they spawn.
Yeah, and I mean a little bit of standard mage harassment going on in this while and Nico having significantly more damage than Jinx and Miriam in early games, especially having that CC available to her.
Yeah, Wild Cobra taking quite a bit of damage here. Switching to the Rockets Ignite going down here, where there is the cleanse here from Cobra. Skarner also towards that side, just in case for the gank is going to get spotted out by that ward. Fifi as well on the Mumu, just about done with his clear, gonna meet towards his bot side, and we could see a brawl here in the river.
DPA having priority in all of their lanes, but Witch Doctor's just kind of not
Oh.
respecting it. Gets 2 flashes out for it though.
Yeah, double flash there. Skarner able to just scoot across the wall, so much worth on that there. Fifi and Leviathan both blowing their flashes, not purchasing, any of the CC that we really needed to start that fight. Maddie getting kind of pushed back here now as the wave comes back towards him. So Skarner on the side here, didn't get seen out, is going to charge forward. Good job by Leviathan, going to put that Skarner in his place and root him up right away.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, an amazing look by Witch Doctors toward the bot side after confirming that that flash was taken off of Nico there. There's not really much they could do in terms of defensive ability besides, obviously land the root, which they do, but he is going to end up giving the double scuttle to the Mumu here in a response to him getting the bot side.
Yeah, Fifi as well on that Amumu, deep in the enemy jungle here, taking up Gromp as well. We'll see if they look anything towards topside. Wild Cobra getting caught out a little bit here. Maddie getting shoved back. First blood there by Nico. Once again, tradition is tradition, and can't scoot away from it. The carry Leviathan popping off.
both of the supports got kills there.
It's the carry game. Let's be honest.
Gotta give it to the supports.
Without them, well, you know, what damage would you have? Absolutely not. Yeah, dragon spawning, that is the ocean. Unfortunately, we are not going to see that for this game here. We'll see what we have for the soul point. Last game, going to that critical 3-3 moment and a fight for that, breaking out and kind of deciding the game as well. Spirit Rush here by Ahri. Last time is going to be able to fear out. Doesn't have a lot of mana though, so Charm also being land. Lots of damage here. Ahri blown a lot of cooldowns. Unfortunately, he's not going to find any kill onto that mid lane. Last time is going to be able to walk away. Meanwhile, towards the bot side here, Nico as well, trying to get a little bit of damage here. Wildcard gonna go down here. Leviathan and Maddie just pushing forward, looking for the Melio. Not going to find him, but Wild Cobra going down there early. That is a great sign. 0-2 now on the Jinx.
You're playing into this Jinx, and she is down that much pressure early and gold, and just having to lose so many resources like that. It definitely
Oh, red
is
being
good.
used by the Melio as well. Good job of Leviathan taking up everything. Maddie going to be able to walk out cleanly, getting a turret play too. So great utilization out of these boots too for both. They opt into not a lot of damage, but the mobility on this bot side is lethal.
Yeah, I mean, Callista, you know, typically opting into sudden impact as one of her runes due to the fact that
Oh, there's the ult here. By the way, crashing out onto the Ahri. Gonna explode. Not gonna find anything. Maddie having to get out of there. Unfortunately, did not complete the recall. Cobra finding purchase there. Almost going down as well. They opted in for the dragon. But Maddie not able to back in time. Really hurts them and puts some more gold here in Cobra's pocket.
yeah, it definitely doesn't feel good, but it also means that Cobra can't go to contest this dragon, which means that these objectives are going to get traded for the dragon and the girls.
Oh, lost times. Slain there by Ginger. Ginger's doing a great job of picking out the isolation on that Q and just gonna find purchase on it. Free kill there for the way.
Yeah, I think Spiraling Despair is going to end up kind of being a nail in the coffin for um, StormForge if it gets to that point where it's doing damage as well.
Good wombo combo. Skarner starting off this old great pop up there by Cho'Gath, able to get them both away. But yeah, Skarner over the top, over the CC on the Ornn too, but just not enough to get the kill. Xanther kind of thinking his lucky stars, having to back, does have the TP to join back, but he hopefully is going to be more careful here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, like that really doesn't feel that bad. You got the Call of the Forge God out there. You pulled Skarner towards the top side, so now Mumu gets to make a play towards his bot side camps. You know, get a little bit of a gold lead after noticing where this Skarner has, you know, shown himself on the map.
Yeah, Nico in the bush here, maybe looking for a little bit of a play here. Doesn't have ult just yet, still level 5. Charmed by the Ahri going wide and Mumu towards the backside though. Looking for it. Meanwhile, bot side Wild Cobra having to rush out of there. Calista doing a good job of taking out the damage. Meanwhile, top side, Ornn and Cho, everyone decides to fight all at once here. Over the time being, Spirit Rush still available for the Ahri in the mid lane. Wei not quite having ult, just up for that Spiraling Despair. Skarner here over the top side, looking for the way. Charm being used, Spirit Rush as well, not going to find purchase. Boss time's on that way, going to be able to get out. Just grabbing a little bit of movement speed for himself. Fifi here towards the bot side, clearing out the ward. We'll see if they end up going towards this bot side. Witch Doctor Skarner here does have the ult here if he ends up picking up a primary target. Maddie looking for it though. The Nico ult gonna crash down onto one. Gonna get the reset. Double kill here for the Mumu. Calista moving forward as well, trying to get it. Maddie does rip Wild Cobra out of existence here. Great pick up there. 3, 2, and 2. No dragging up just yet, but a lot of kills over here for DPA.
Yeah, Witch Doctor's not really having, you know, the leeway to be able to get that impale off onto anybody. Just getting chains CC'd from the root to the spear to the Curse of Sad Mummy, you know, just being enough to lock him in place.
Yeah, good job by Fifi as well for the double up, granting 2 kills. Has not back yet afterwards, but is going to have lots of money in the pocket. Maddie as well picking up a little bit for his efforts now. 3, 2, and 2. So Nico there. Also 1, 0, and 5. Great use of the ult, picking up, I believe, 3 in that last one, 2 or 3. So a lot of backing and a lot of gold being spent. Void Grubs, I didn't even see those taken. Did you see who grabbed them up?
It was Skarner. He traded them for the Guardian.
Okay, for the trick. Yep, that makes sense. So SFG maybe looking for the second ones here. Less than a minute up. We'll see if they start to rotate, that bot side over towards it to have that potential 4v4 fight for them.
In the current state of the game, it might be a little bit risky for SFG to even attempt to do this, and less if they get the pick on the Cho'Gath. But as long as that Cho'Gath is alive and Hwei is still there and the Moon is taking his base right now to go be a nuisance, I can't see SFG being able to do this safe enough.
Yeah, it'd be a little risky. Not a lot of vision either. And we look at the CS, pretty even along the board until you get to that jungle point. Mumu really doing a lot of, jungle camp difference and still having a little pressure on the board as well. 85 to 67 for Fifi for DPA, but bot side moving straight for the Void Grubs. They do not want to give this over, leaving, Wild Cobra and, Hacks towards the bot side to really free farm this tower, and I think they're going to be able to take it.
DPA opting to, short shift their bottom lane towards the top, and then move the Hwei into the bottom lane here to receive Jinx. But Jinx is gonna, take a couple plates for her troubles there, and they're gonna try to catch him out on the bottom side. Wow.
Yeah. Emilio looking there, Skarner ult available, but the charm is going to hit. Are they going to be able to use it? Super Mega Death Rocket going to be thrown out by the Jinx, going to pick up the kill. Wild Cobra's going to feel good about that one here, grabbing probably some extra plates. Meanwhile, Maddie and Leviathan towards the mid lane tower. Besides Maddie, you are the target, not the minion, so a little bit of tower plating going down. More money in the pocket. Mumu towards the top side here. Beefy just in case something does happen. Dragon being up though, and this is their Cloud. This is Dragon number 2.
Yeah, I mean that we didn't even really acknowledge it, but got to sell the bar to the top side.
Oh boy.
I took a big bite out of this forehead.
Yeah, well, when you're hungry, you gotta feast. Dragon being picked up here, that'll even it up 1-1. So objectives being traded back and forth once again, and it will be the Inferno here for our soul point.
Infernal Soul is definitely not going to feel good for either side to get hit by. So I think both teams really just don't want the game to go on that long. I feel really, really bad. We lost to getting an Elder flipped onto you.
Yeah, I think it would spell insta death, rather the Jinx just auto-rocketing everyone and then just burning them down like there is no tomorrow. But right now that Jinx is a little far away, opting into the Hurricane right away. Kind of opting out of damage for that first item, so a little bit of an interesting pickup.
I think that she is having trouble keeping consistent damage on the same target with how mobile Explicit is, so I don't necessarily hate it. Being able to spread the damage in the team fight, potentially give value off of the Impale, it should do a large deal for them.
They do have vision right behind that ward, getting spotted out here by Hacks. They're looking in the bush. They did find Leviathan, so this could spell disaster. They opt into just walking away just in case Skarner is around. No longer there. Wave pushing back towards them. Wave's kind of resetting, but it looks like Fifi is grabbing up Rift Herald. Cho'Gath and Wei also kind of moving around just in case anyone tries to engage or stop this.
Looks like the SFG is going to end up not being able to contest that Herald on the top side, so Herald's going to go over to the side of DPA. Potential fight breaking down on the top side.
Yeah, Orangame taking the fight down. Nico, though, towards the bot side, does stun up 2 with the ult. Kalista grabbing her as well, pulling her back, and now Bootleg has to come out. It's gonna find Maddie. Maddie taking down Wild Cobra towards the bot side. Flash here from Hax, having to get out of there. TP also being used here by the Ornn. They might try to flip the script here on Maddie. Maddie doesn't have any backup. Tries to rip away Hax. It's not gonna have that happen though. Skarner also towards the backside. Maybe a little overzealous play. Ari now covering topside, having to burn the TP to help that out. Mumu towards the mid. Does have Rift Herald. I believe is going to use it here and hopefully going to crash down this mid.
Yeah, Hack's gonna have to sprint with the rest of his team towards this mid lane to potentially stop Fifi from just taking this by himself. It would not feel good to, you know, have to TP top and then lose an entire tower for it. But they take bot as a consolation prize.
Yeah, a little bit of a trading there. So a lot of TPs being used. So nothing on the map for SFG. Meanwhile, DPA still having Xanthers just in case here. But they look now towards topside. Cho'Gath, Xanther looking for a little bit of plays on the Ari. Skarner up there just in case a dive was on the board. A minute 45 for this dragon. So I think people are going to be backing, buying, grabbing the wards, and another big fight here.
I mean, they don't really have much to fight over. It's just kind of fighting for the sake of fighting. Impale's gonna go down.
Yeah, flash from Xanther. You know, smelling out that everyone's coming up there. Call of the Forge gonna be taking down Jinx as well. Hitting down Xanther, gonna shut that down. Gonna grab some gold in the pocket there. So good pickup, and they still have time to get to this dragon.
Yeah, I mean that is a pick, and I mean Xanther will be back up for it, but you know, no Impale available for this dragon, presumably. I think it should be just shy of the dragon spawn, but you know, maybe they'll be able to get a top turret for it and equalize the map a little bit.
Maddie there taking the tower towards the bot side. Nico as well running down there by Leviathan. Tower gonna go down more than likely here. Nope, TP being used by the Cho'Gath, so he won't be here for the fight, but neither will Ornn. So this will be a 4v4 in the bot side, unless Ornn decides to run all the way down, which might be the answer here. 30 seconds left for the dragon as well.
Yeah, it looks like Ornn is gonna opt to, you know, wander his way down bot. Cho'Gath kind of trailing behind him a little bit.
Oh, Fifi over the wall there, finding out Wild Cobra getting taken down by Maddie. Impale looking here for the Skarner. Nico going down very low. Witch Doctor is laying on that one. Maddie trying to kite around for this Skarner. Spirit Rush Ari over the top. Gonna look for Maddie once again. Gonna send everything out, but is not gonna find Virtus here. Rips the cord is Maddie and Witch Doctor having to leave here. Meanwhile, Fifi trying to re-engage. Does find the kill as well. Hackers also looking to be a snack here for the sad mummy, trying to grab one more for him. Meanwhile, Xanther splitting here for the Ornn. Not gonna really get to him just yet. Maddie pulling another kill here for the hack. 6-3 and 3. Blade of the Rune King already complete, so a lot of sustain in these fights, and they're gonna back away. Free dragon for them, and what a fight.
Yeah, I mean that fight went on forever. If you noticed, about halfway through the fight, they did the combo between Nico and Callisto, where you pre-fire the Pop Blossom, pull in with Callista, and send it out as the Pop Blossom is going off to get the surprise insta knockup.
Yeah, that was a great job there. You know, gingerly as well on the Ari, trying to find something towards the backside, but no one's really able to follow up, unfortunately, and not having that damage. You're having the Malignants going for Merc Tread boost to reduce a little bit of that CC and the magic resist coming out between Cho, Mumu, and Wei, plus the Nico as well. So a lot of magic damage and really kind of opening up then, you know, for that Calista to do a lot of damage, which, you know, we saw people with a lot of spears in them, and it can be really underwhelming. Like, you don't think there's going to be enough damage, you know, enough on you, but then as soon as she rips those stacks away, it becomes apparent that, oh, maybe I should have left.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Callista not an entirely honest.
Oh,
champ.
impaled here. Maddie having to try to get out there, does try to kite around. I don't think she's going to, but a lot of damage here. Almost taking out Cobra for it too, so a great pick out there by Witch Doctors.
Yeah, I mean, massive impale. You know, Skarner really showing why he is a very, very powerful pick, post rework especially. that impale, just kind of, you know, guaranteeing kills if you can land it.
Yeah, just grabbing up, you know, some primary targets, dragging them to your side, especially with this team having Jinx just free fire on top of you with Emilio as well, just keeping the kind of everyone healthy and going, you know, for that as well. Baron gonna be called up here, but Call of the Forge gonna looking down for last time. Last time's gonna be dragged back here by the Ornn. So great wombo combos here and a great value out of the Ornn and Skarner.
Yeah, Baron was not the only thing called there. It was also the big ram coming in. You know, very good snipe. Gonna cost last time's his life.
I feel like Ornn should be driving around like a big Dodge Ram. Like, if he's not, you know, I think, you know, marketing needs to figure out what's going on with that, because I think that's just leaving money on the table.
Well, I mean, he is playing Conductor Orange, so he has a train.
Yeah, well, you know, the train made by, oh no, Maddie, unfortunately, almost getting caught out here. Leviathan possibly, oh, nice pull there by Maddie. Just going to recall back into him for the support. Meanwhile, Gingerly going to get TP'd on here, but is going to find the entire group as they don't re-engage. So a little bit of flank turns to disaster. You know, great use here by the Callista on that ult, pulling out Leviathan from the impalement here, but they are going to start the Baron a little over 21 minutes, and I don't see anyone really stopping them at this moment. Skarner, though, might be coming around just to poke his head in to see what's going on.
Yeah, and it looks like fight's about to break out.
Yeah, he is going to, unfortunately, here. Maddie towards the backside here. Call of the Forge looking, or not quite up just yet. Fifi as well towards the backside, maybe looking for a re-engage. Xanther trying to get in there. Maddie slaying hacks here, still towards the backside. There's Call of the Forge going down, getting towards last time. Last time's having to limp away here from the fight. Trade is back and forth. Skarner still doing tons of damage here. Maddie, though, unfortunately, just triple kill, able to stand in that backline. I know we talked about this pick and we're a little hesitant going in, but it is paying dividends. Spirit Rush here for the Ahri. Good job, Maddie, going over the top, dancing around here, pulling away from the charm, evading everything. Cho'Gath as well here for the help. I can't imagine dodging everything in the kitchen sink. Like, that was Patches O'Houlihan at his prime.
Are we sure we've got Maddie here and not Fumiyusi, or?
Like, Jesus, that was epic to go over the wall, over the pit, dance around every single thing, and you just made Ahri look the fool.
Yeah, that is. If you are Ahri, you are not happy with that outcome.
Not going on your highlight reel. That is.
Yeah, not going in the playbook.
Now, if you're Maddie, you're like, all right, this clearly I got to put this as a, you know, happy feet or something.
Yeah, that is. Callista is looking good. He's definitely going to be a scary pick for the remainder of, you know, this league season duration. Gonna have to be something that other teams are gonna watch out for.
Yeah, a little bit of dance around this dragon pit here. A lot of ults still available, basically for every single person on both teams here. Dragon starting out, Maddie putting in all the stacks that he can, so he can just rip it out at the end. Call the Forge going down, gonna find one. Ahri towards the backside, all stole by the blue team here. SFG looking for that impale, going onto two. Maddie killing on a rampage, gonna rejoin the fight as well towards his bot side. Ornn trying to get towards the backside. There is a charm here on Maddie. Maddie gonna go down here. Jinx also picking up the kill, getting excited. We'll see Rocket Belt used by Nico. Not gonna find anyone. Wild Cobra still punching just a whole bunch of damage. Fifi now in trouble, having to re-engage to Cobra. Not gonna find it. Gonna sacrifice, but is it gonna be in vain? Triple kill here for Cobra. Keeps on going. Does find the Blast Man. Does get slowed down as well. Wild Cobra not going to chase, but picking up a triple kill. 9, 5, and 3, and an upgraded IE by the Ornn as well.
Yeah, I mean, that is exactly what you want to see from those fights, where Jinx gets one reset and, you know, snowballs it into the rest of the fight, and just kind of, you know, picks off the team one by one, because at the end of the day, as long as Jinx is alive, it doesn't matter how many of your tanks go down. Jinx will be able to clean up.
Yeah, she's going to be shredding, especially with this now that upgraded IE and now going for a little bit of armor. Pen, you know, with that, you have the Skarner backing you up and the rest of the team. Maddie, unfortunately, getting hit with that charm really kind of changed the game. Using that alt Leviathan, trying to look for maybe a little bit of a re-engage. Not going to find anyone. 3 minutes here on the Dragon, and that Dragon also, once again, was stolen here by SFG. So really a good delay, putting it at 2-2 instead of a 3-1 situation.
TP comes out from Xanther there to put a little bit more pressure on the side of SFG. DPA hoping to, you know, claim this dragon for themselves so they can, you know, put themselves back in the driver's seat after losing that fight.
Yeah, and they are. Here's StormForge trying to find who. Maddie also in the front line once again does get taken down here by the Jinx. Jinx getting the resets here. Xanther as well getting impaled. Nico trying to find towards the backside of Gingerly. Gingerly still going to take a lot of damage, but not going to go down here. Wei and Cho limp away from the fight. The only two that survived with that Baron, and I think they're going to be losing more towers than they will be taking here after it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, almost definitely. I mean, having your Callista be the last one out of pit is definitely not optimal for your team. You probably want to leave your Cho'Gath and your Amumu in the way of the Callista, so that, you know, at the very least, like, if you have to lose a Baron buff, it's not on your core member.
Yeah, Maddie done such a good job with positioning, but last couple of fights, more opting into that front line position and really getting caught out and putting this team in an awkward spot. You know, your kiting skills are second to none, as we've seen throughout these team fights, but you also don't give yourself a lot of room with that front line here. So maybe just a little bit of a, you know, let's reconvene, figure out what's going on. We got a minute 30 for the Dragon. Let's utilize the Baron on the people that we have and set up for this next team fight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you're dead, you can't do damage.
Yep.
We learned that from game one.
From the AP Mal fight, you know?
Yeah.
Maddie here still towards the front side, and I'm just waiting for the Skarner to come around and just be like, alright, well, that's a free take here. And he is off to the side. You know, the rest of the squad is behind Maddie. I can't voice this enough. Get Maddie off the front line, call the Forge going down, having to flash here. Skarner impaling, unfortunately, a primary target while Cobra, godlike there, gained the resets, grabbing another kill. Wei and Leviathan having to get out of there now. Lots of times trying to get out, doesn't get hit by the charm. Is going to slow down this Ahri here. Is it going to be enough? But once again, frontline mistakes.
Yeah, ambition will certainly cost Maddie another death, and it's not gonna feel good, that's for sure.
It's just Icarus, you're flying too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Stop. Let your frontline be your frontline.
What do you mean? We're playing for AP Cho'Gath.
Right, well, Skarner here over the top. Last time, just getting taken down here. That's going to be hacks on the kill. I don't know what you're doing. Your team is down right now on people. Dragon coming up. This will be number 3, putting them at the soul point. You kind of just, you know, gave away the Dragon off of that play.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think it was entirely, like, obviously dying there is not great, but it's not like Maddie would have been there to the fight in time, and he was already low, so I think this dragon was lost way before that, but certainly dying right before it doesn't help.
Yeah, I think you just don't fight. You're going to be down someone. Maddie once again going forward here. Skarner trying to find purchase. Nico going to pop up 2, going to maybe get a reset here. Skarner does the impale, but not enough. Leviathan here walking away, going to get picked up here by Maddie. Fifi having to flash to get out of there, and I think they need to count their lucky stars as they did pick up the Skarner. Call the Forge getting thrown down here as well, looking for Maddie. Maddie going to get taken up here, or not going to find a pop-up here. We'll see if Maddie can diagnose and get out of here. Wild Cobra going to hit the Super Mega Death Rocket in that slow, nice little chamber, and nothing that is going to, you know, spell good news for her at all. Orin going in, not going to find the knockup, going to get split up just a little bit here from the team weight, trying to grab a little bit of damage down, but that Jinx just once again getting those resets, being able to free fire on the back line, 12, 5, and 9, 600 gold bounty. Wild Cobra just not giving up after the game one, after a little bit of a lackluster performance, has really resurged here for game 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, just showing how potent, they can be on those right-click hyper-carry champions if they are facilitated forward properly. It's definitely going to feel good with, finding those picks, getting those resets, and, putting pressure onto the backline of DPA.
Am I reading this right? Is there a Jack shows now on Callista?
Yes, it's pretty good on her, to be honest.
Okay. I was like, I
Because-
know there's a lot of AP and AD resist, so I mean, like, a little bit more survivability on it. It's just something I don't see AD carries grab that often.
Yeah, it's really only on like Callista and like maybe Zeri because you're close enough to get the value out of it.
Yeah.
It's not something you could build on like everybody, but it's good on close though.
Well, talk about being close here. Baron up in 30 seconds, and they are going to get very close as a little bit of a dance around here towards the mid side. I don't think they see the flank from the Skarner. Skarner on towards that Maddie as well, trying to get some damage down. Is going to get impaled and held down here. Maddie's still alive here, doing tons of damage, taking down the Wick Doctor, but a lot of damage here by Super Mega Death Rocket. They have to lip away. They have 3 that is on death's door here. Maddie trying to get out. Double kill here for the Jinx. Resets from Gingerly with the Spirit Rush. That is going to be a quadra kill. We'll see no Penta, unfortunately, for this Jinx, and she is screaming at it. Just come back here and love me just once. That's all I need. We'll see if this is the end of the game here. They are going to maybe push here for the end. 30-second death timers means quite a bit. I don't think it's game, but probably inhibitor.
Yeah, I mean it'll probably turn into inhib and potentially Baron. It could be Baron.
Yeah, Nico doing lots of damage here. Great pickup here. And a great shutdown by Leviathan, understanding why he is the carry of all of the carries here. Death Timer's going to be popping up here, so they are going to lose inhib. Not quite, end game process, but really kind of opening up for that next great push. If they do end up taking the next fight, that will be game.
Yeah, I mean one fight is going to, be the nail in the coffin for the side of DPA. If they go on to lose any of these key fights anymore, they will probably end up losing the game.
Yeah, Fifi running up there towards the Baron, spotting out on the wards here. They're not going to start at GS yet. A lot of back and buying as well here. Jinx picking up a lot right now, having the BT on top of it just to make sure there's a lot more survivability here for the Jinx, like she needs it any more than she already does. But just a little bit more towards the front side. Maddie as well, kind of hitting the pinnacle, just waiting for one more item for that full build as well. Skarner over the top though, gonna go through the wall, just gonna run back out. A little bit of a Baron dance popping up here while there is Dragon Soul in a minute 30.
We talked about this soul kind of, opening up a path to potential elder flips, but it looks like SFG and DPA by association is gonna opt to just go back to their lanes and try to get some pressure down.
Yeah, they are going to grab tower, inhib, and probably the game here. A little bit of delayed backs could spell disaster. We'll see if they end up engaging here while the team is not together. Xanther just trying to deter them away. This could be the free Baron we were talking about. Meanwhile, Maddie and Leviathan towards the mid side here, taking a great job of getting that tower. Has to blow the RETP as well, so great value out of that. But the Baron is going to be started. They're going to opt to trade Dragon for Baron and try to hold this defense, but with 2 inhibitors down and only 1 left, I don't know if that's the trade.
Yeah, that I mean that was just good map of awareness from the side of SFG, being able to rotate themselves accordingly. they don't even really need to fight for this dragon at this point. All they have to do is go with the wave down the mid lane. But looks like
No,
they
there
are
is a
going
death push, so they do find 3 here. A lockdown here for Hex. Has to get out of there. Maddie pinned up by 2 people and still trying to get out of there. Not going to have that happen, though. Wild Cobra getting the kill here by shutdown on the Cho'Gath. Trying to be surviving is Maddie. Maddie still towards the backside, kiting away this team as best as he can. Lost Times also trying to survive. Calista gonna go down, and that is going to be a team ace for SFG, and that is going to be end of the game. They're going to be pushing with this Baron, and what a series comeback.
Yeah, I mean, if you're SFG, you're thinking, wow, we really win into this game with an entirely different roster from week one, and we really took it to them, and we were able to secure the game and win. So that's gotta feel
Yeah,
pretty good.
A couple of few key decisions and pickouts really spelling disaster there for him. We saw Maddie doing a great job towards that early to mid, but just getting picked out and being that front line really cost them, as we saw about 3 or 4 time and time again fights really set themselves up for failure as Jinx kept on getting resets and a huge quadra kill pickup as well as a couple of triples as well towards the mid. Just launches her, just catapults her towards that crucial end game point so early, and there was just too much damage being taken by Wild Cobra.
Yeah, Wild Cobra just kind of being that looming threat over the side of DPA, but um, certainly going to make their lives harder, especially with them taking the win this week. Should be interesting going into the next couple weeks, um, considering that StormForge could appear with the same roster or not, but we will just have to see.
Yeah, so great Silver Scrapes game, just some adjustments. It's early in the season, still plenty of time to turn things around and adjust, but a great series overall.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we have an interview lined up for tonight, but do you have any other closing thoughts or comments?
Not that I'm aware of. It was a great game, great play by both sides. Just a little bit of changes here and there, but I'm excited to see them, for the next few games here. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it should be very interesting seeing the dynamic between both these teams, change or adapt going into the next couple weeks. But that will be all for tonight, you guys. Thank you for coming in and hanging out and watching the set with us, and don't forget about Movember going on right now. Our production has been kind enough to supply a link to the charity in, I believe, in the channel. So if you can, please go check it out, and donate if possible. Any help is appreciated, and it is like an official charity, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. Any help is appreciated, and thanks for joining us for tonight. This is Lost and Gitano signing off. We will see you guys in the next stream.